They always say, what is it, the third time's a charm? Oh my goodness. Please, please. Just work. Just work. You can do it. You can do it, phone. You can do it. I gotta get some gloves, man. I ain't getting my hands all dirty. Touch my truck. I'm just gonna ride with it. I'm gonna assume that it's not working this time. I'm gonna assume we have no audio. I'm gonna assume we just don't have nothing. I'm gonna assume somebody's gonna have to say, you know, the audio and video is good. Audio. Because otherwise, I'm not gonna believe you. I'm not gonna believe you. Is anything good this time? Is it working this time? Is it working? Let's see. We got Wi-Fi. I see a like. I see Rich B's in the house. So I got good old Trusty to let me know if we're dead in the water. The little door came with a baby strap, which is good. Feels weird doing 8. I haven't done 8x7 in a long time. It's normally always 9x7s. Feels like the 8x7 era, at least because this is old stuff. I mean, this is like, I don't know, 30s, 40s, 50s house. You know, it feels like the Model A kind of stuff. You know, like they were just happy to park the Model A. There wasn't much room in there. All right, what's it going to be for spring? I feel like we've talked about this a little bit, but I feel like their labeling's a little bit shy for the Rich B doors. Just a little bit. This one does say 8x7 on it. And I don't know. I'm assuming we requested for an operator prep because I think we had one that didn't come with it. But pretty nice. And it's got the pin. That's always a good thing. It's got the pin. It's got the pin. It's got the rope. Take a little look skis, in case there's some newbies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that rope. Slide lock, dude. That's just so nice. You got your warning stickers. You want to put those on. It's just a good looking hardware box, man. Just solid. Solid. Got those beautiful rollers. The long stems are in there. Looks like we got Wayne Dalton's notorious for forgetting these darn things. Your upper flags. Super notorious. Now, the only thing you have to worry about is the one thing I guess I'm seeing that they're not doing is they're probably doing it because of this. They're throwing this bag or this operator in here. But the thing, it scares me a little bit that they're open because it just takes an employee or something go, oh yeah, man, just grab a number one. Later, I'll put one. I'll put one in. Yeah, okay. All right, let's assume this is where 207, 207, and 207. Are they all the same? So I took the insulated door. So I knew that. But see, like this is a little bit like I got to think about this. 23, 23. So left and right. We got two rights. So obviously we take a right. It's half the door. Does that make sense? They're so weird being small. 1 3/4 just feels. It just feels small. Like it just. I'm just so not used to it. It's fine though. I mean, it's really fine. It's just I gotta find something to whine about. Let's see. I don't think there's nothing on there. Identify. I kind of like that. They need to write stuff on there. They're whoever. That way we know who to fire. Who are we gonna fire when the crap's screwed up? We're gonna fire you. You're fired. All right. One spring, he says. Oh, God darn it. Is that the van kit? What do you got, man? You got me. Put me on the spot. pan door. It's a pan door. It's going to have a rehook for an opener. I'm trying to like not have to put the rack thing on, you know. Oh, hey, and I forgot to tell you too. If you're cruising through, if you don't mind, if you would please hit the like button. I see, you know, there's a few of you, so hit the like button. Just helps bring more people and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's not going to be, you know, it won't track you. Got some track, just some standard track. What's kind of interesting about these doors, what I've noticed, is that they're universal, which I think is a good thing. I can't see nothing bad about it. But I'm just saying, it's kind of nice. Like it's got the holes there at the top, right? It's got the holes here at the top, right? And then you got your things right in the middle. Your slide lock there, it's right there. And then the adjustment one's in the middle. So I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of nice. I think, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but normally I have to stop, you know, and I have to do like I have to do the belly button type thing. And I'm like, okay, the slide lock's roughly more down here. And if it's Wayne Dalton, if they do this, the one slide, just, you know, where I just go, this might not be bad for like a new guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just more universal. Like, just put them on the holes, guy. Just do it. I know what I'm missing, torsion tube. See, even myself, if you don't have a list, I should have the list. We used to have a really good list. I don't know where it's at anymore. Checklist. Oh, man, look at you guys. Let's see here. Hi. Good day and good stream. What's up, cool? That's a cool name. What's up, Dab? You been staying busy? Haven't heard from him in a while. You probably end up with some extra hinges. Ooh. Think so? So Edwin says, hi friend, hello. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're staying busy. What are we forgetting? We're forgetting some weather seal. I'm not quite sure how I want to strap her down. All that good stuff. I need that gimbal like PT has. Follows you around. I think the Wifetron might have the same one. Might. If that's the case, it might be a little problematic, right? Oh, man. Hey, so we got 6 likes, too. Like I said, if you're cruising through, whatever, if you don't mind, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't track you. I can't even see you. It just... do it for the sun going down. It's a beautiful sunset. Cool. It says, hi, I'm new to the stream. I went to say hi, have a good day, and a good stream. Awesome. Thanks, cool. That was really nice of you. Hope you have a good day as well. All right, Dab's got me inspired. All right, that's what I'm here for, man. Like I said, got to keep hustling. Got to keep making that baby money. Talk to you. Sounds good. Yeah, I've been trying to, you know, since I ain't got the cutaway. Yeah, I see we got 10 likes now too, so that's awesome. Now I can retire. Thank you. But anyways, I've been trying to think of, I do the bins a little bit. Now, normally I do the bins if we got bad weather. So one's got power tools, another one's got my bag. It's got my hand tools basically, and then I got some bits and stuff. And I've been struggling because I'm working out of a truck. And so I'm not really used to it. I really like having this truck though. It's low, it's cheap, it's really good on gas. It's like a Swiss Army knife. It's a very universal truck. But the tools, you know what I mean? Like, that's a little bit, I don't know if I'm looking for a different bin. Supposedly I can't find these bins. I mean, I think I did find them. There was somebody who still had some, but they don't sell them at Home Depot anymore, these Husky bins. So they got these Craftsman ones at Lowe's, but the problem was they're like wider and shorter, and these ones just are more narrow and taller, so it works kind of nice. So I don't know, I'm kind of funny about my bins, but So far, we've been making it where we're going tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I think it's tomorrow. It's a little bit on the rough side. So I didn't want stuff just sitting out like sticks of gum. You know what I mean? That somebody goes, ooh, can I have one? You know. So that was the case. Oh, I can't forget. I got to put some trim nails in here, some hand bangers. And I see the trumpet, and I seen a heart, I think. Thanks for the trumpet and the heart. And hitting the like button. It always helps. How are you doing? Is this Michael? Doing pretty good. How about you? Tell me what's new. What's the weather like? You got fires, you got rain, got floods. Busy. Family good. What's today? Today's Wednesday? Wednesday, man. Hump day. Happy hump day, huh? Oh, we got a lot of trumpets on there. About to start living in my truck and save up 100K to buy my house in about a year. Hey, man. You can do, man, I tell you what, you ever watch that, what's the one guy, Wrangler Star? You know, and he talks about, you know, men don't need much. You know, I used to live in the back of my garage, you know, at my old house. And of course it was a little bit more probably decked out than what you'd think is just a garage. I mean, it had a shower and it had bathroom. It's, you know, I had a fridge in there. Don't think I had a full kitchen. I had some countertops of some sort, but nothing too crazy. Just it's funny because I was just talking about with wife Tron the other night, and she goes, it wasn't that bad. She said, we had heat, we had air conditioning, and she goes, the worst part was the air mattress. She says the air mattress would always be going flat. You know, in the middle of the night, you know, you wake up, you have to, you know, you're under an air mattress with two people. It's like you roll. You roll in the center, and you're like, go to your side. You're on me. But, you know, maybe, Dad, maybe you think about too, like you said, you know, maybe it's not even, maybe buy investment. Maybe put it off. Buy an investment house, you know what I mean? Or do a duplex or something, or you guys got mufflers on? They don't sell mufflers? And, you know, maybe you just keep saving it up. Maybe you take that money and invest it. You know what I mean? You know, because I tell you what, man, I try to tell the younger generation, especially houses, they're not affordable anymore. And then the scary part is that these taxes are getting crazy. You know, taxes, and then insurance. You know, the insurance is out of our control, but you got to have insurance if you got a mortgage, or you know what I mean. So it's one of those things. I seen a biker. There was a little pedally biker. Where'd they go? I don't need them walking up on me asking for 25 cents or something. Maybe they went down another road. Or you could always come over this area. You're gonna have to be in a bad area, right? But I just seen another house. There was a house for $55,000 listed. I seen another one for $88,000 listed, and I was like, and this one was furnished. Like, I mean, it was like it had a paneling in a couple rooms, but I was just like, 88 grand. I was like, you know, like I was telling Mr. Caleb, I said, you know, you might get a knife in the back, but I said, you know, as long as you stay in your house, you're fine, you know. Cool. Hey, I'm subscribing to you. I liked an awesome day. Oh, sweet. Thanks, cool. Well, you have a great day too. Like you said, you know, stick around. Come around sometime. Say hi, man. We always appreciate it. Stops and nails. Is that your terminology, Richby? Call it stops. We call it perimeter seal up here, okay? Perimeter seal. It's perimeter seal. Not bottom seal. Perimeter seal. Now I gotta figure out which one it is, because they don't give me the stinking exact size. So this one looks like they just gave me a 9-footer. It's not even really a 9-footer, is it? Well, yeah, I guess if I line it up there, it's probably a 9-footer. She gave me a 9-footer. Okay, that was nice of them. That was nice. And now these other sticks, what am I going to do with these other sticks? Let's go take a look. Huh? I got to replace this light. See, everything Oh, you want to own a house? Oh, you want to own a, look, this light's not turning on the way it's supposed to anymore. Boom. Oh, it already did this time, right? But it's got one of those motion sensors. Whew. And it's going bad. It's not clicking on like it used to. It's got a really slow click to it, like the relay or something. That's probably open for me. I should close that, right? And you're not supposed to have stuff around it. That's a violation. Because I'm working on a mini split. Be nice, Rich B. I know. So now, these are my licks that I don't know. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. So this one's obviously not long enough. So that's a 14 footer. See, like I don't like. Some of those guys probably like it. So they give you a 14. And probably here's my 16. I'm not a big fan of that. I just rather have it cut. You know what I mean? Give me 14 or whatever, it's whatever it is, like 7.2, whatever they give you, give you a little extra. Because now, little truck Dave, and then little truck Dave, I gotta cut, I gotta take my tools out if I'm gonna cut it. And what if I cut it too? What if I'm out of the job? And what if I cut it wrong? You know what I mean? That's why I got ladder rack. That's right. That's why I got ladder rack. Watch this. Stand by. Just gonna sit here and be a good doobie. Watch this. Why I carry electrical tape for a reason. Ow! Suckers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'll get that strapped down. What do you say? That ain't going nowhere. Whew. So, just little things. Very little. I can live with those. Man, that water's tasting great. Is it Petro? It says hello, hi, hello. Was it Jones? We look similar. I can just see your picture a little bit. I can see, we got the silver fox going. My wife likes the silver fox. I'm like, I told her, I said, I gotta get me some just for men. She's like, no. I said, yeah, honey. I said, I gotta get me a younger woman. Cool. Everyone subscribed to him. Well, look at Mr. Cool. That one was held for review. Subscribe to Cool. Subscribe to this cool guy. It's you, Dad. What does he got? Oh yeah, he says, I know if I sacrifice this year, I'm single, no kids, save up so much. Oh yeah, man, dude, you got it. You got no kids, single. Oh yeah, dude, that's the time to thrive. You can always watch that one guy, right? There's one guy out there. He's a good dude, man. He's a straight shooter. Is it Minority Mindset? He's the one that wears the turf, whatever, on the head. But he's a smart dude. I was watching one of his videos actually today, talking about like if you're in your 40s, investing and stuff like that. And he just he's almost one of those guys I like make my kids watch like every day, because he teaches financial advice. And he's really smart. So he always talks about the decade sacrifice, and I think he's kind of right, because it took me longer. It took me about 15 years. So, it took me about 15 years of sacrifice to finally kind of slow down, you know what I mean? And not be, and there was, and I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning. So that's why I like hanging out with you guys, because I learn a lot. Rich B just gave me a real good licking, and Tony gives me a really good licking. Rusty does. Cousin Evan, even though you wouldn't think he does, but he's a young blood, and he does a lot for me. He gives me ideas and things I spur up on my eye, and video content and ideas, and I try to help him with, I don't know, maybe somebody could put in the comments, right? Maybe, hey, I see we got 18 likes too. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. I think there is a really strong thing with the power of no. And I don't have any good sayings. I don't have any good verbiage on it. I don't know anybody that does out there that's ever showed me. But I do remember one guy. He was a landscaper guy, and he would talk about, you know, just saying no. And I just think for a lot of young men and even myself, right, there is a time that we just there's just so much that goes into of saying no. Like this is not a good fit. You know what I mean? When it comes to, it can be relationships, it can come to jobs, it can come to just friends. Just there's so many things. And I was mentioning this to Mr. Caleb about, sometimes with friends, there's certain things that you gotta just, you gotta say no. You know what I mean? And you have no, there's this is how I look at it. I'm weird. Take it with a grain of salt. Unless somebody's holding to your noggin, let's just say, right, and is about ready to end it for you, everything else doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, you have time. There's either going to be time, or there's going to be money, or there's time to heal, loved ones or something. But I'm just saying, like, if you don't know, let me get back to you. Let me check my schedule. I'm not real sure yet. Just like on the phone, right? I mean, I've tried to coach sometimes the secretaries and stuff like that in it, where it's like they're struggling. And I'm like, tell them you'll call them back. Call them back in 5, 10 minutes, 15, whatever you got, you know what I mean? And then try to find an answer, And like for sometimes, like what we've done is we've kind of filtered the customer out a little bit. And sometimes you got to be like, this is not going to be a good fit. The way they're already talking to us, the way they're demanding, they're already wanting this being this price or this cheap, or they're being rude. I remember in the past, I've had a few secretaries that called me and they were like, this guy is being a real jerkwad. And I'm like, why are you calling me? It's like, I give you the power. You have the power. This guy's treating you like a jerk. Tell him kiss off. Like, I know who you are. I trust you. I got your back. Like, they don't need to talk to you like that. You know what I mean? I think one time I had to step in and talk to somebody, kind of put them a little bit in their way, you know what I mean? Because they're being real snots, Just no reason to be like that. Especially when we haven't even done nothing for you. You just get an estimate or this or that, or it's like they just want to call and fight. But anywho, if anybody's got something good for the no, the power of no, let me know. Yeah, if you know the power of no, let me know. But I just think there's so many things. Like thinking about, you might have to do a decade. Sometimes it's 2 decades of sacrifice. If you want to go somewhere, it's hard, man. This world wants to eat you up. There's just so many things always changing. The products are changing. The price of everything's changing. And it normally isn't always for the better, right? I can't remember anything in my lifetime. I can't remember anybody else's lifetime I've talked to that, but we do have good things. I mean, we got running water. If you got running water, you can take a shower, or you got a creek, or you can take a river. I mean, there's a lot of free stuff too that we don't take advantage of. Like, I always wanted to get one. I can't think of it. I was gonna buy one. So solar, you put a solar up, and it was a pretty cool Eco. You buy a little solar pack, and it had a generator, and I think it would start. You could buy 2 of them, pair them up, and I was like, that thing would be sweet. Just charge your phone, have a little internet, whatever, Starlink. It's just, there's so many more options nowadays too. And a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are doing, vans and trucks and RVs. Like for Dab, I don't know where you're based out of, where you got decent weather or not, 19 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Is it Husen? Bonjour. Is it bonjour? Look at that. Loves truck stops or Planet Fitness for showers. Rich B's got it right. I mean, I've watched a lot of people that do that. Planet Fitness is a big one. They go to a lot of Planet Fitness. I don't know if Planet Fitness is actually better, like cleaner or nicer. I never really heard it. This dude's doing a wheelie. Welcome to Muskegon. I don't know how we don't have cops on the road here. I just don't. And there's a fatal accident about every night, if not every night, every other night, somewhere right in this vicinity. Whoa, call it 8587. Lights went out and They're on right now. They're on a timer. They'll go off. I forgot to pay my electric bill. No, I'm just joking. They'll go off automatically. They got a sensor. But thanks for letting me know. Joe, maybe you talked about it in one of your videos, Dave, but can you talk, I was to say, how you got started in the business? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what we do the lives for. And we got 20 likes. Holy moly, you guys are so generous. So generous. I'll read some more of it. I'm gonna sit down for a second. Enjoy this AC while it's still working. I can't believe it's still working. Especially since I did it. I know, it's goofy. I'm goofy like that. Talked about how you can start, how you started in the business. Did you get hired working with someone, move on your own? Well, more or less in the business, it was kind of one of those things where I ended up, how do I say it? I always knew I wanted to do something, and I found that with the garage doors, the overhead was pretty low. There wasn't a lot of, you didn't need big machinery, and you weren't like hauling gravel, so you needed big trucks and dumpsters and skidsters and loader and all that kind of stuff. So I had a business partner that was actually he worked in the business, and he branched out. He left. We started together, and then so I was kind of more the hustler. I was kind of always like, hey, we always got to work minimum 8 to 5. He was more like, kind of probably like, let's just work until the job's done and we're going to call it a day. And I'm going to go ride my motorcycle or my wave runners. So that's why they normally say, business partnerships don't typically work. And I was one of them. I was one of them when I started out. Thinking, oh no, this is my buddy, man. We're best friends. We'll never, like, you don't know who you're talking about. And unfortunately, it does. You know what I mean? I was trying to put in the hours. He just always kind of was doing stuff like behind the door, behind closed door. I don't know how to explain it. Like he just kind of. I should make sure that dripper's working. Maybe we're pushing water in here somewhere. But he just always. It just eventually, and then like one day, he just tells me I'm done, and I'm like, whoa. We were working on a big gate job for the Coast Guard, and I'm like, I told him when he was tearing stuff apart, I said, dude, I said, you can't. I said, don't be. I said, you need to be labeling this stuff. I said, in case something happens, you get sick, you pass away, like And he's like, oh, it's fine. I know what I'm doing. He's just ripping stuff, and sure enough, then like a couple days later, he's like, I'm done, and I'm just like, whoa. Like let's go outside. Let's I didn't want the secretary. I just wanted to talk, man to man. And he's just like, no, he's like, I'm gonna work up at some deer ranch or something. And he's like, I'm done. And I'm like, so you're not even like putting your 2 weeks in? And so, so it didn't work out. So I went through a lot of hurdles. You know what I mean? Like a lot. I mean, we dealt with the recession of '07. Went through that. Went through a vendor, or a customer not paying us when we're first starting out. When you're first starting out, think of how much. Even nowadays, still it's a lot of money, right? $10,000. Customer did not pay me, and so we owed that to our vendor basically, and so I had to work my hiney off for that, and then and eventually you have a business partner that falls out. You have you have the cough syndrome that comes through, that then now you start hearing that the OSHA is going to start fining you for $10,000 if nobody gets the pokey poke. It's tough, man. It's tough. And so that's why I'm always trying to, like, some of you guys out there, I'm like, hey, you might want to keep it small and keep it all and go take a little bit. I mean, I was full tilt, baby. I mean, you're just, like I said, 14, 17-hour days was nothing. It was just, that was it. Saturday, Sunday, just plowing, man. So that's kind of how, and it just took many years. I mean, I've been, like I said, since, started back in May of '06. So I don't know how many years. I know it's 18, right? It's 18 plus. So that's why I always say I've been doing it 18 plus years. And yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it still can be a lot of work helping and stuff. There's we're just so blessed, and it looks easy, right? It looks easy because people don't see the sacrifice. They don't know how. Like I said, what have what has somebody done for 15 or 18 or 20 or 30 years? You know what I mean? It takes a long time to build that snowball. You know what I mean? And then you got to have a good group of people. You got to have trustworthy, honest, great workers. I mean, it's a whole system. You know what I mean? You got to have the systems in place. Like I'll show you from a distance, but you got like Jobber. It's got your list all in there. So you got Jobber's got the jobs and stuff, keeping organized. You got the phones. You know what I mean? That they're all synchronized to do what they're supposed to do at certain hours of the day, and the systems. And so in a nutshell, you're building a system. That's what you really need to be thinking, is you need to be building a system, not a sometimes a full-time hardcore job. It's a system. Anybody can make a better hamburger, right? But can you build a better system than McDonald's? So that's what you're kind of, it depends on what you want to do, though. It all depends. You don't have to. Like I said, there's good money. You can take it easy. But for me, it's always been a challenge. It's always what's the algorithm? How do you make things click? Why do people do this and not do this? And so it's always fun. But good question. Ask more if you got something more in detail. I love it. Is it Elsa? Working Man's Garage. Joe, I know Evan jumped in. I don't think he ever worked in the field. As far as I know, I don't think so either. I don't know if Evan's on here. I'll have to see when we get down. But Evan's been doing a phenomenal job. He's been doing really good. Super proud of him. 9 and a 16. You think for the length there? I think they gave me a 14, right, to make 7s. Elsa's got 9s too much. On the wall. Oh, those pockets, maybe? Time travel machine. Whoa. That door going north or south? Oh, that's a good question. That door is actually going southwest. Southwest. It's due southwest. Right in the little mini Detroit. So might be my last time you see me. Oh, the sun going, it's beautiful. It's nice. It's actually really nice out. Should go back out. It actually feels, I think, maybe just a touch better out there than it does in here. I thought maybe the buggies were going to start getting me. Okay. All right. Question, good sir. What state are from? It is Michigan. We are up in Michigan. Shops in Muskegon, Michigan, but we're in Michigan. Where are you from? It feels like, what's this, Jenna? I should say howdy instead of hello. I don't know. Is it soda or is it pulp? What do you call it? Is it soda or is it pulp? Holy moly, there's quite a few here. Let's, what's up, Rusty? I see Rusty jumped in there. How's your week going? Hopefully your week is blessed. Same to you. No, it's going good. Feeling good. Maybe not smelling the best right now, but feeling good. Muscle and a gangster. Occasionally I feel, was this untrue desire? My true name. Okay. My name is Gary. What's up, Gary? Good strong name. What did I miss? Not much. What'd you do? What'd you happen today, Rusty? Heavy Detroit accent? I don't know. I didn't know that. It's like when we went down to Tennessee the one time. Girl down there, she's like, you got an accent. I'm like, I got the accent. She's like, yeah. She's like, you got the accent. And I'm like, you got the accent. I know we all got it though. Like I said, it's probably drifts over because we got a mini Detroit. Let's see here. Carrying this is amazing. Said hi, crazy. Is it Crazy Bear? What's up, Crazy Bear? Take easy on. Is it the Roids? I got, what is it? 30 different trees. Oh, nice. A fatal, yeah. There was. They just shut down the highway just down a little bit. There was a fatal there. There was one like last week down here. It's like it's pretty much every night. It's every other night. There's a severe accident. I think we had a 20-year-old. It was raining. Hydroplane put it in the trees. That one, he passed away. Just organ donors. That's right. Was it Ty? Ty, I don't know if you're close enough. Can you work? I don't. You got to have a good work ethic. You know what I mean? Like I said, good attitude. Peter, yes, I am rich. Awesome, man. What kind of haircut do you get? What kind do I get? I did buzz. My mom despises it. Can we get like one more like for that? My mom despises it. We love our moms, right? Everybody loves their moms. Thank you. I see we got 22, by the way, so that's great. That's very generous of you guys. But no, I get the wife trying. She got a nice set of the buzzards, and I'm real cheap, and I don't like waiting. I've had so many hair people now. I get really impatient. And I don't know what it is. I don't got nothing against those hair people, but I tell you what, like I went through 2 or 3 of them, and some make me, they're always like 20 to 30. The one that got me the one time was 45 minutes late. And now, mind you, this is like 2 weeks in advance, and I'm just like, I'm getting these texts just about the time. Oh, hey, I'm running a few minutes late. Hey, I'm running a few minutes late. Oh, I'm gonna be 20 minutes late, and it's like, or I go there, and now I'm sitting, and I'm like, dude, like I don't get paid to sit here. You know what I mean? Like I'm not on vacation. Like, like Uncle Dave got to be moving. You know what I mean? Like. I said, where are you from? Hopefully I said it. We're in Michigan. Where are you from? Rich B business partnerships is quickest way to lose friendship. Bingo. That is very true. Very true. I would totally agree with that. And what's really weird, it's about the best thing I can find in life as of right now. I just treat everything like a ship. Everything is like a ship, right? There's one captain, right? You got crewmates and stuff, and you got your helpers and stuff like that. But there's one captain, and then, it's you're all working as a team. You all got to keep, or I think of it as a ship, or I think of it as a garden, right? That's how I always think of things. Everything, even my the businesses, or even my household, or it's a ship, or it's a garden. We all want to eat from the garden, right? We all have to participate. You know what I mean? We all have to, do our part. Sometimes we got a weed, sometimes we got a bug infestation. Sometimes we can take it easy and just watch the sun and watch the grass grow. But, Rusty Full Tilt, he says, is out there. Muskegon bikers. Yeah, we got the Muskegon, what do they call this? I don't know. We got a bikers thing that they just had it like a few weeks ago. The bikers club comes through, they do a pretty big thing. I don't know how it did this year. I don't know if there was any casualties. Typically there's always 1 or 2 casualties, or 3. So I don't know if there was any this year though. So hopefully not. Joe, he says, thanks for answering. Guy love to know your garage door backgrounds. Well, like I said, Joe, appreciate the question, man. You know, you got any more, just bring them up. Ooh, Southwest Bent Harbor. And you got that really long, what is it? What does your thing say? Is that, oh, what is that? Is that like a Spanish type that, 8-5, you're in Ottawa? My dad lives down in Ottawa. Oh, was it Angel? How did you find more jobs starting off? Good question. So you almost got to go into like, you got to think of like people that are crazy, and I'm one of them. So you got to go a little crazy, right? I mean, you just got to go crazy. You got to, you basically just don't stop. I mean, and then the problem is there will be a point that you'll start making some business come in, right? And you can only do so much. And I ran into that a lot, right? So that's when, secretaries and employees had to come in, because it was like, I only have 8 to 5 for some of our commercial, but a lot of commercial, you walk in, I write them letters. You just don't stop. You know what I mean? You just tell them, hey, I really, you go in and you just, because somebody out there slacking, you know what I mean? Somebody's out there slacking, and they're happy they got the option to try a new person sometimes. And like I said, a lot of stuff doesn't, I think people get really disappointed because it doesn't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is, it's 5 and 8 and 10 and 15 and 18, 20 years, right? And some people can't even like not do one thing for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very slow process. And that's why, sometimes I'm always like looking back, I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, I'm not saying bad things, right? Very blessed, got great people. They're supporting their family. They're doing a great job, right? But like when I look at it back from what I know now, right? And I'm not telling you I'm just telling you my opinion. Don't just, Uncle Dave told me and it didn't work out. I'm not telling you. I'm just telling you what I've seen and I've thought about. Like one was like vending machines, because they're working, especially if you get them in a shop. Let's say they got a first and second shift, or even a first shift, or a first and second and a third shift. Those things are working behind the scenes, right? And people love food, and people love pop, and they love bottled water, and they love their Gatorades and all that kind of stuff. But you're setting up something and then you're moving on to another one, right? The problem with what we do is like that garage door I'm loading, I'm going to go out there and do stellar job, right? But I don't get rewarded, because that door, I'm not going to make it so it fails, you know what I mean? And yes, there is that, like, they'll recommend you. Maybe not. Maybe they get in a car accident. I don't know. Let's hope not. But I'm just saying, it's like you're always chasing, right? When you're in construction, I think there's some illusion to construction, that I gotta go out and get the leads. I gotta go out and get the jobs. Oh, I need to do more advertising. Oh, I need to do more Google ads. Oh, I need to do more Craigslist. Oh, I need to do more Facebook. Oh, I need to do more Instagram. You're always chasing, it seems like. And then you get the jobs that do come in, right? And then now you gotta pick through them. This person, the other guy, he said he was $20 cheaper. Yeah, you're $2,000 higher. There's just so much that goes into it. You know what I mean? Where like you can set something up, right? Maybe increase your prices a little bit, 5 cents, 3 cents here, right? But you got something here, boom, working for you. And then you go to another location, you got something working for you. And then you got another location that's working for you. That's just my weird thought of how things kind of work in a nutshell. Or like for me, like I like the real estate because in my generic area, we have a lot of cheapskates. I literally had a guy that was a builder, and he's a hustler, right? He's a hustler, But he's like, you know, if you can do this drawer, I don't know if I should say it because I might just get a whole razzle here. Oh, goes the ambulance. It's probably one of the bikers. We'll hear another one, I'm sure. Two more, two or three. But what it'll be is, I lost my train of thought. So you, I don't know what I was talking about. Darn ambulance. Anyways, you set up systems. My generic area, like I said, kind of cheap. You know what I mean? People will, you know. And you know what's funny? I mean, I think I figured it out. I asked this guy, he's a brand new customer. And I said, hey, I said, well, you know, and I don't like builders. Papa Tony's talked about it. You know, nice thing you don't have to do tear out. I did ask. I said, is there going to be concrete? He goes, well, I hope so. And I said, are you good with paying cash? And I said, when the job is complete. Because I just don't trust the builders. And I'm thinking the check could bounce. And luckily they're local, so that's good. Not a long distance loser. But he said, well, him and his business partner, it's easier for checks, right? But here's what got me. Maybe Rich B, maybe somebody will catch this. But he said, you don't need to be, or we won't 1099 you. And I thought, I know what you're doing. I was like, you're one of the ones that I've talked to, because I've had employees that either, you know, I've let go, that I'd work for another guy because they're all in jail, and they, you know, like he's got me there, and then I'm like, he's like, oh, you know, hired your one guy, and I'm like, why would you hire him? Oh, he said he could do garage doors, and but then he doesn't answer anymore. I don't know what happened to him, and it's like, okay, you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, why don't you just work with us? But because you're a builder, you just want the cheapest. You know what I mean? Like, you don't care. It's just the numbers game. Like, who can do it the cheapest? Who can put the cheapest roof? Who can put the, you know what I mean? Let's just sell this house and try to make, you know, 30,000 or whatever. And, you know, I'm watching these spec homes. I was driving around today, you know, and I was thinking, I wonder if people like ever, like, when I go to these customers, you guys ever ask customers, and you're like, you know, oh, wow, what a nice house, nice area. And you'll like 7 out of 10 get customers that are like, yeah, well, I really wish I would have never bought this house. And you're like, whoa, like, I mean, they come off kind of strong. You're like, okay, well, why is that? And they, well, because the drywall's all cracking, and look at the driveway, you know, they didn't backfill it right. So it's, you know, and I've heard like the builders, like the concrete guys told me how they hump it, right? They leave the center thin, and then they make it on the pour. They make the sides look like it's 4-inch or whatever, but the center's hollow, you know. There's little tricks to everything, right? Just like garage doors, little tricks to things, right? We could cheapen things up. Don't have that second strut, operator bracket, certain things, you know. Best wall mount operator to use on a 12 by 24 garage door. Wanted to do home automation integration. Maybe one of the guys will mention. I mean, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking like a J50 or that Maximum maybe, but Maximum's pretty new and might be glitchy, but I just think, but I don't know if the J50 is going to be, if you got automation, I don't know if it's going to be automated enough for you, is what I'm thinking. Ask if they need to work or know anyone else. Rusty, just started my garage door business a couple months ago. Nice. D&B. What is this? Is this Turtle Chat? I don't know what that is. Did a 16 by 9 inject shaft. I went and did estimate 2 hours of phone quotes. Ooh, unstuck. Door from opening was back through. It says then set springs in 14 by 12. Then the 8454R opener install. Harry's got, or I'm sorry, it's Henry, not Harry. It's Henry, Miami. Nice. Can I come down there for the winter? I'm back. Evan's here. What's up, Evan? Did you get dinner? What was for dinner? I know you had dinner, darn it. Where are you? Paris. No, it's Michigan. Kevin's back there. Kevin, you're in here? You hanging out there? Such a good moderator. Dixie comments are read in order. Might be a while. Let's see here. What's this guy? Mary? We got 26 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Mary, you can kill an elephant with just one chicken. My thing was I always like the saying, how do you eat an elephant, right? I get a lot of guys, bigger job stuff, and I get it. And I'm like, how do you eat an elephant? They're like, oh, one bite at a time. You know what I mean? That's all you do in life, just one bite at a time. Can he with the chance, or is he on his own wavelength? What's happening, God? I'm thinking about #1 residential garage door service to my business cards and stuff. Does some legitimate organization have to say I'm first before I start putting that stuff on? Ooh. Out of 10, too many fake contractors. Is it DR Silver? There's a lot of chasing. There's a lot of stuff, man. That's why they always say in business, you wear so many different hats. You know, you're the advertiser to now you're the installer to now you're the boss to now you're a therapist to now you're dealing with a vendor problem. Now you're helping the vendor. You got to go get the stuff. They're broke down. They rolled the truck over. I mean. I don't know what that is for hustler and not for loser. No, I don't think so. I think you got to be, you got to be a hustler. You got to be committed. You got to be sharp and witty and chat. He says, I don't know what that one says. Is it Philippine? I can't say it, but it says hi, hello. The hustler, keepstake builder, the hustler. Seth, are you saying, I have a question, throw it out there. Start building your reputation of quality and beginning and build up for years and finally get word of mouth referrals and past customers without advertising. I'd say hustler is startup entrepreneur. Ooh, that's a good one, Evan. I like that. It can be called whatever, There's just so many things, you're go-getter, hustler, you're dedicated, you're committed, there's just so much. There's so much. You just gotta keep going. You just can't let no be an option. You just gotta keep going. The biggest thing I see with some people and some things is they can I think there's a lot of truth. I think there's a lot of truth into the whole quick get rich thing, you know what I mean? And that's just not the case, you know what I mean? And so it's dedication. It's almost like you have to live it, right? Every day, you got to turn the TV off. You know what I mean? You can't be sitting there watching Netflix and movies and stuff. Like, you need to be sitting there. Even myself, I've told myself, I said, there's times you need to post things. I seen somebody the other day and I'm thinking, that's kind of a good idea because it got my interest. I seen a gear kit, right? And I'm thinking you could write a little thing. Here's a gear kit. You can purchase it. I have it. It's X amount of dollars. Or I can install it if you're in a certain area. There's just things out there that I'm like, look at that little hustler. I'm like, good for them, There is a particular building in my area where general consensus with the public is that their homes are poor quality. Thanks, Rusty. Did I miss something for? Yeah, I still, like I said, I kind of hit him a little bit today. I just told him, I said, when he said, check, and I'm like, and I'm sure if that builder's smart, they're going to have us sign a lien waiver. And I just keep thinking about, I just told him, I said, hey, is that check's not going to bounce, is it? He says, I haven't had one in, whatever it was, 28 years or something. Okay. But I'll be the first one. You know what I mean? So, and we'll see. It's a couple weeks out. It's going to be I think there's another insulated, non-insulated door. is what they want. But I just kind of told him, I said, he asked for a certain, he's like, can you do it for this? And I said, yeah. I said, well, with one remote. He didn't ask an opener spec, so I still might try to do the Performance Max. But if I can find a DC, I just really want to put an AC on a hollow door because it's going to be, I know it's going to be loud. And I didn't even know they had AC or DC options for the Performance Max. So I kind of like to get my hands because I got well, I wonder if the DC does have adjustable limits. That's going to be, I'm going to have to do a little research tonight. I'm sure the AC does, but I don't know about the DC. Thanks, Rusty. Oh, Rich's guy says, I get it all the time. I would never recommend someone to buy a brand new house nowadays. I feel so bad for the ones that do. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm so with you on that, Rich. I mean, it's, yeah. You know what I mean? And then you see that there's those guys out there that do the home inspections, and that one dude out there that shows all the problems, and there's the other guy out there, right? The black guy, he goes, that ain't right. You know what I mean? Pretty cool dude. And, you know, I mean, I'm just going like, whoa, broken trusses and all this kind of stuff. I'm just like, no way. Mike Holmes. Yeah, isn't Mike up there? Rich. Last time I checked, Mike Holmes doesn't own a Canadian equivalent of Lowe's or multiple hotels or local hockey team. Interesting. Interesting. Well, it looks like we dried up a little bit, so that's kind of good because that'll give me a few minutes to tidy up. Come on, light. There you go. I gotta write sold on it. Holy moly, it's getting dark. I get scared when it gets dark. Yeah. Yeah, but good questions, man. Good questions. Set chair on the light. The Milwaukee light that broke the prongs off, so now all I can do is use, it can only be battery backup. I don't think I should do this, and I don't think I had any foam. You know darn well if I put this on my weather seal, that's going to be on there tomorrow. And I will be not a happy camper. So, looks like we got a little bit of cardboard here. I'm gonna have to buy some stock and electrical tape. I kind of got a thing for this. Is it Scott's? 33, I think it is. Yeah, this is Scott's Scotch Super 33 Plus. I just like this stuff. A little bit pricey though. Sometimes I buy the cheap stuff. I don't know. All right, now I got to get this thing so it doesn't bang over. I do like that the doors have this nice foam. This is very nice. Now, the other company, the WD company, they put these hard foams. Wish I had one to show you. And they rub. They only do like 3 of them. And they will rub the face off. I have a lot of confidence in that this will be just as beautiful as the day it came off the assembly line. When I go to install it with this nice foam, being all the way consistent through, I don't have to worry about it. So I'm pretty stoked about that. It looks like, they do a pretty good job. They do the rivets and glue. So, pretty impressed. Pretty impressed. I definitely can't express how appreciative I am of Rich B finding this manufacturing for me. Super grateful. he was consistent too. You know what I mean? He was consistent. He was constantly like, hey man, like come on, come on. And yeah, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. They do a good job. It's like they take pride. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not used to tethering this thing down this way, so I'm struggling here a little bit. But we'll have a fun day tomorrow. Mr. Kale will get some more experience. Please don't hit me in the face. I even after hours, or when I was full tilt in the business, I always thoroughly enjoyed the evenings. I really did. I could meditate. Phone's not ringing. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're in there. It's just hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, yes, no problem. Evenings. Everybody's at home. Everybody's eating a little dinner. Everybody's relaxing. So it's nice just to come here and take care of business, man. Like, get your stuff loaded up so that way you can sleep good. It always affected my sleep a lot. Oops, let's see here. What's going on in here? Always on time. What's going on? Tony, I got scared. I get scared when it gets dark. The boogeymen come out. So is it Tim Horton? It breaks. Was just the hockey player, I believe. This restaurant is our equivalent to the Dunkin' Donuts. Oh yeah. Yes, I'm taping the trim. I don't really have any other better way to hold it. At least the stuff's kind of gummy, but I put a piece of cardboard on it, so that way it won't be gummy tomorrow. It's the best I can come up with. I don't really want to fold it. I could cut it, but this is not my normal setup. Like, this is not normally how I would run this setup. Like, I got the rack I put up there now, and I didn't want to put it on because I don't really need it for a little door. So I got everything like this is why I hate trucks. Like, what was the van was a 10-foot? It was a 10-foot or 11-foot. I think it was 10. The cutaway van, it would just engulf this thing. It would just stick it in there, shut the doors. I mean, and it's wide as heck in there too, in the cutaway van. And you don't have to worry about none of it blowing out. I gotta worry about the straps. I gotta make sure, I'm looking behind me, nothing falls out. Joe, have any more jobs coming your way? The best tape. You like that tape? That's pretty good tape. Yeah, I know. But that's what it is around here, man. And like I said, it's so fun. To me, it's fun. I don't know why. Because, like, I've been up there. I've been the big dog, and it's like this area doesn't care. This area, you know what they care? That's what they care. So like I said, I got a Detroit, right? I got a Detroit accent. They never question. Even when I worked for Lowe's, I couldn't believe, like I said, nobody was just like, do you work at Lowe's? Nope. We're independent subcontractor. Oh, how much would you guys have charged? Like, they never asked. Never. Out of hundreds and hundreds of jobs, never asked. Openers, doors, they never asked. They didn't care. You might be able to put a sticker on it, and they'll call you back for that because they know that you did it. And they might want something good. They might want something bad. But they was funny. They always went back to Lowe's most time. They always went to Lowe's because they got work orders. So we get work orders. something went, didn't, something happened. The photo I got knocked off, door's not going down, something silly. The old man's up there pushing the buttons. Oh. Yeah. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me, Rusty. Like I said, if I was going out there to kill it, this would not be even in the ballpark. But all right, I'll tell you now, just a little secret, right? I've been keeping my eyes out, right? Now, if you do your homework, this might work good for Cousin Evan. Hopefully, Cousin Evan gets the memo. But possibly, but he's going, man. He's still young. He ain't got the kids to deal with and all that crap. So, like, that's your saving grace, man. Like, just go out and kill it. But I've been thinking about like a Chevy Avalanche. Not 100%, not 100%, but I thought about it. Now it's going to consume more gas. It's a little bit more roomy because it's, my kids are starting to get a little bigger, a little bit. For the most part, there still works fine. But it's just one of those things. Like, I kind of bought this kind of like as like I never had a small truck. I've always had big trucks. And like I said, this one's got the side. I mean, I can reach everything. I just love that I don't have to like climb up on stuff so much. You know what I mean? But this sucks. Like if I was doing this every day, especially here in Michigan with snow. Oh no. It'd be snowing right now. My compartments would all be getting full. And the back of my truck would be getting full, and angle iron would be getting full, my cutter would be getting full, and all my garbage would be getting full. Oh no. Nope, no thank you. That's why, for me, I only come out in good weather. Rich B's got to keep it small, keep it old. Is it three-wheeler? Oh man, I miss my three-wheeler. I used to have a couple of those things. Hello, everyone. Antonio, is it? Clock 2210. Ooh, excuse me. Rusty Weed. Just checking to see if it's we got a neighbor person over there. Checks the church all the time. Good person. I was trying to say, like, who's sitting over there? Probably checking this place out too. Somebody over there not supposed to be. We are a family business, Rich, so that's what we are doing. Tony's got full-size Ford F-150. What you need? Ah, man, I don't know. So here was the reason. I didn't tell you why I was thinking I leaned towards the Chevy Avalanche. I did not realize that the Chevy Avalanche, when you tip the back seat down, is with the tailgate down, is 11 feet. From one of the videos I watched. It's 11 freaking feet. You can fit something in there. Here's the problem though. It's just like this. The problem I have with this is that if you put a door in here, you got nowhere to really put your stuff. You know what I mean? If I lay a door out flat, like a bigger door, like I would, there's nowhere to put your stuff. So you got to go up. So I think the Chevy Avalanche would run into the same problem. And what I like too is they had the compartments. Those compartments. So you have like a whole built-in tonneau cover. So you can keep your tools. So I thought, I was like, that's probably a nice, good, like crossbreed. You know what I mean? Because like this little guy does everything for me. This is my deer hunter. This is my go-getter, whatever. You know what I mean? Gas saver. I'm just really impressed. And it just runs. Got about, she's sitting about 220 on her yet. And, still original motor, as far as we know, on the paperwork, and then original transmission. So, it just runs. It ain't a tower though. She ain't gonna tow nothing for you. Maybe a little fishing boat. But that was kind of something I thought about. But if I was to be, I always keep a sly eye out for one of those cutaways. Those cutaways, I think we still got a little bit of light. Oh, I better not go out there. I was gonna go out there, but that cutaway out there, that one's obviously caps. That one, that thing is sweet, and his is even better because his has got, his was better than mine. His has actually got power locks, so just a push of a button locks all the doors on the whole thing. Um, that one's got the 6.2, so it's a nice beefy motor. Um, like I think I had, what did mine have? I think mine had the six liter. The 6 liter did pretty good. That's right, Rusty's got, you meant Chevy? That's right. I didn't shudder. But those fours too. That's good. Uh, big four baby all day. You need trailer, then you gotta build a work table. I don't think Tony, I don't think you've ever seen my I bought a utility. I bought it over in Wisconsin. I went all the way around that darn down to Chicago, went to Wisconsin, and I bought it's a utility box. It was on some of my I think it was on some of my videos. It was right at the very first when I was kind of doing them. I was kind of altering because I don't even know what I was pulling. I was pulling that thing. I might have been using the Raptor or something. I don't know. But anyways, I bought a utility thing, and it didn't, but kind of had the same problem, right? The inside was, the inside was open, like, whoa, oh man, pay the electric bill, god darn it. And so it was, I gotta not trip on something in here. I sliced my leg open. Come on, light. Thanks, you light. So anyways, it was bouncy. I had a board fly off at one time. Went on the highway. I was embarrassed. It was a super busy highway. It was over in Wisconsin, and it was like I seen it in the rearview mirror. Like, you know how it is, right? You're married, right? Y'all have to like, what the hell was that? She's looking, oh, and then it's like you're looking back to, and you're like, there's a cross piece missing. Like it was a 2x4, son of a, and it's like, it was like a 4, 5, 6 laner. You're like, I'm not turning around. Ain't gonna happen. It's gone. And so I had that, and then it was like, I don't know, it was real clunky to lock up, and then you could do like an enclosed trailer. But here's the long story short, right? The long story short is, I don't like trailers. I really just don't like the trailers. I don't like the inconvenience of trying to get into somebody's yard with them, because it's like, do you stay on the road? Do you back it in their driveway? Big bug. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like if you're on the road, and then it's like open to like the neighbor kids that want to play in there, versus being up in the driveway, and it's just extra steps. And I just don't think I like the trailers. I'm not a trailer. The vans are just so much more nimble. You can pull, because sometimes you got to, how it is. If you got a bigger job, right, a 2, 3, 4 job, door job, you got to haul them. So you need you got to pull a trailer, and then, or you got to bring a scissor lift. I just can't get on. And I used to have my big one. That was a 20-footer. Now, I did like that for big jobs. I'd bring that. That thing had an air conditioner in it. It had a table, workbench in there. Had if I knew if I had that in my work truck, there wasn't nothing I could do, because I had a generator on there. I had a welder on there. I had everything. I had a sleeping bag on there. I had a pillow on there. I slept in the darn thing. So, but like, maybe like for cousin Evan, it might be a good idea. You know what I mean? If he doesn't want to get rid of the, because it's a hard pickle, man. Like, because you kind of, I've been there many times. It's like you're kind of trying, it's like there's kind of your personal life, and then there's kind of the business life. And if you get into it busy enough, you just, you just got to have a person. You just got to have a work vehicle. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? It's just so you might as well just buy. If you can buy an older, rust-free, or if you can afford a newer one, like for me, like if I was in, let's say, Cousin Evans, I'm not trying to pick on him, I love him. What I'm saying is like I probably would invest my money into a service van. That'd be my car payment, and then I'd probably drive some kind of beater. That's my personal. An older vehicle, whatever you want. A SUV, truck. Um, that's just me though. You know what I mean? Because that's it's gonna represent the business. It's gonna show you're serious. It's gonna show you can carry more stuff, which is less trips. Um, you can just do so much more. You know what I mean? Like, because you just gotta, you know how it is, man. As you start growing, you gotta have the sawzall, you gotta have the sawzall blades, you gotta have the grinder, you gotta have the impacts, you gotta have all, then you start wanting to, have a little generator so you can charge stuff or work on things or batteries or like this job we're going to, what is it, tomorrow? I was sitting there and I'm like, does it have power? I'm probably gonna bring a box fan because I'm wimpy like that, but I like the coolness. And so I'm like, yeah, it's got power. Like I ran the door up and down, right? Now the power could be shut off, but I can bring my power pack. I don't know if I got quite enough big batteries for it because I'm using them for the lights and stuff. But I don't know. Like I said though, but this, I might leave this stuff in the bins. I don't normally leave them in the bins. I take them out. I might start leaving them in the bins because it's kind of a pain in the butt to always pull your tools and put them back in the bins. And I still got to go through my list. I don't know if I need a ladder for this job. I don't know if I want to fit a ladder in this job because everything was low. Felt like Superman. Like I could touch everything. It seemed like, at least everything seemed like it was. Slope ceiling, real low. Thank goodness it's local. Because if we do forget something, what you got? Dodge. You need a big trailer. Build a work table. 204. Yes, I think they said that. Cadillac made one. What's this? Cadillac made one like the Avalanche. Oh yeah, what was that called? That was called something real fancy, wasn't it? What was that called? The Cadillac. And I don't even know. I kind of got onto the page of watching them. I don't know anything. My brother-in-law had one. I don't know if he said it was good or bad. I know there was a certain years you got to watch because they started doing that, the deactivation of cylinders or whatever, so they're eating up cams. But it was just something I just thought, well, at least I could get something I could at least pull something a little more, a little bit bigger. It's the Chevy platform, the older Chevy platform, which I do like. And then I thought the compartment would be nice. Everything could stay weather tight. You can bring the back down, so when you're not using it for transporting kids around or something, you can just put the bed down and then you can fit long things. I think that's what got me. But like I said, I still kind of go, yeah, but if you put things in the back, if you lay a door down, 11 foot though, that's quite a bit of a bed with the tailgate down. But the problem is, like I said, you only got that narrow spot next to it to put all your tools. Maybe you got 11 foot. It's like right here. See how this is narrow? Somebody's speeding again. It's narrow. So maybe it wouldn't be so bad. I don't know. Maybe the bed's a little wider too. This truck's pretty narrow. Put Jeff in his own service vehicle one day. Yes, Rusty. Which one? He takes the white truck out now every once in a while. Tony, I thought you were gonna say he gets the minivan. That's what I want. I come down with Tony. I want the minivan. The minivan's sweet. The minivan rides nicer. Another thing, right? This is not a heavy suspension truck. This truck rides like a dream too. So, it's just like I said. I mean, I probably, I don't know how to say it. I guess you just start getting old. You know what I mean? Like it's either you get older and wiser, or you just the body gets older too. I don't know. But I always remember my uncle, right? He always did the Blazer. And he did a lot more construction though. He was a big, he's a 2x4 framing, and I'm like, you need a truck. And he's like, man, I like the Blazer. He says, I can reach in everywhere and grab everything. I don't have to climb in. And I started realizing with those, can't seem to start, but the smaller service vans, they're still nice because you got your spot for your feet to kick off when you get in. They're very great vehicles. I still, if that's your next step, go that route. They're affordable. But climbing in, you're hunched over, right? You're hunched over all the time, getting in, getting the tools, but at least you can get in. You got steps to get in. Where the Cutaway, actually, and if you even get one that's got a taller rooftop, oh man, you're living the dream. Like you just got so much storage. I just couldn't believe how much room was in there. That I've never had it where I could actually have a gate operator, a full-blown gate operator in there with me as I'm wearing it. When there's a blizzard outside, I got the radio playing. I'm sitting on a bucket with a cushion on it, and I'm just sitting there with the light, and I'm just going, dude, this is like being at home. This is like being in your own personal garage, man. Just sitting here, just wiring this thing up, getting it ready, listening to weather, man. Gonna be a cold one. It's nice in here. You know what I mean? Doing my thing. Oh man, all of a sudden the bathroom calls. I'll just flop over here and toss whatever outside. You know what I mean? Because it just, I was back there. I'd have a change of clothes. It was just so universal. So universal. Only thing I might do is might consider going to a dually. They don't seem like they like to, they'll tow the scissor lifts, but they get a little bit front heavy. It feels like you're drifting a little bit, like almost like the scissor lifts controlling you, I think. So I would do a dually if you were going to be a serious hauler, let's say like Tanner. Like Tanner, I'd be like, oh no. You're getting the dually, you're getting the 2 ton or whatever, 1 ton or whatever, you're getting the big dog. Tony says, man's for me. Oh man. Or Paige if she comes back. Oh man, come on. Back in 20. Hello, what's up? Hello everyone. Should have kept my Kia. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm always trying to, it's kind of one of those things, I always want people to have, I want people to have nice things, I want you to have fun and all this stuff, but it's always, for me, right, we always have to take care of the garden. The garden comes first, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's, for you as a man, right, you're the leader. You're the leader. You're the doesn't always say you're the provider, because obviously, nowadays it basically takes 2 incomes just to make things kind of work, because everything's really expensive. And that's why I'm trying to tell as many people as I can, in a nutshell, it's like, hey, we have to realize we don't live in 1950 anymore, right? It isn't, the husband or, ourself or anything, right, anymore, that we go to work and you only need one job and you can support, you can have either the 1 car, you can have the 2 cars, and you can have the house, and you can have the kids, and you can have the white picket fence, and you can have the food, and you can have the 2 or 3 vacations a year. It's not working that way. Our money's been eroded. So you have to work a lot smarter. And we live in this consumerism society that's always trying to program us, right? That's always trying to teach, buy this, buy that, buy this. This will get you, you get this and do that. It'll make you this and that. Not necessarily, It's always you're feeding somebody else. Every time there's that good debt, there's bad debt. And so for me, like I said, it's either a ship or it's a garden. And you got to take care of the garden. You got to take care of the ship. And so whatever you got to do, depending on how bad you want it, right, for anybody and everybody, right? You gotta play the numbers. You gotta play the game, right? Maybe buy something used. Maybe buy something that's a lease. Maybe buy something that's new. Especially like I know it's hard. It's super hard. You live up in Michigan, in the Rust Belt. It's super hard, but they're out there. You know what I mean? And if you got the money, And it doesn't mean you have to get rid of whatever you got now. If you got the money, you can buy, and you just got to keep looking. They're out there. They're unicorns, but they're out there, right? You just keep looking and looking and looking and looking, and you'll find one. And then, but you got to have the money to deploy. You know what I mean? Where it's on the weekend, the money's sitting there in the safe. It's $2, $3, $5, $15,000, right? And you, hey, how about I'll pay you 14. You take 14. You want 15? But I'll give you 14. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Like I said, that one cutaway van I got, like I said, that one was off Craigslist, man, and that was like $5,200, $5,200. The truck ran. It had decent tires on it. It wasn't all rusted out. Even when I sold it, the guy even said, he goes, well, he came up from Ohio, and he goes, I came out here. He says, this one's not all rotted out. And I'm like, yeah, And then when I had it, I tried to, I put a little WD in the doorways and stuff like that, and try to keep it clean and all that good stuff. So I try to take care of it. Got the mosquito. Rich's got yes. That guy would have kept the Kia. That one was definitely a mosquito. Need to buy a new operator. Do you guys remember the Harbor Freight Predator? Oh, the generators? Oh, generators. Sorry, I thought it said operator. I don't know. I bought a big one, and I've had really good luck with it, but I'm sure it's dirty power. It's a big one. It's like I don't know what it is, like a 5600 or something like that. It's a big one. It's like a 2-person lift. But if you want small ones for garage doors and stuff like that, you just really can't beat the old tried and true Hondas. You know what I mean? The Hondas are just phenomenal. Stand over here. This light's going to shut off any minute. Now I just thought of it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Prince Charles made a generator. Rusty, yes, just make sure get inverter one. There you go. Rich B. I agree. Like I said, I got one. It's not the inverter style. It's a dirty one. You know what I mean? And we use it for like jackhammers and big stuff. And I think we used it for some welder and stuff. But it still runs. The starter thing works on it. Really no complaints. You know what I mean? The biggest thing is obviously, you know how it is. You got to change the, if you don't use it a lot, you got to change that fuel. That fuel will destroy things over time. Change the oil, all that good stuff. I feel like it doesn't bug on me. I believe Cadillac equivalent was the Escalade. Yes, I think that's what, yep, the Escalade is what Google says. Yep. So, like I said, it was kind of one of those things. It just, I didn't really want to say anything. I didn't really want to say anything to Cousin Evan, because I think Cousin Evan's going to have to eventually get into like some kind of service vehicle, even if it's a small Ford Transit or something like, or a Chevy Express. But I just was like, I was thinking about it, and I thought, if he still kind of wants a personal vehicle, but yet can kind of use it for work, I just thought that might be not a bad option, and I thought you could stick your stuff in there with 11 foot. At least that's what it said in the video when they measured. It was 11 foot. I was like, 11 foot? I was like, that's huge. I was like, you put the bed or the things down. But of course, there was different options. Yeah, you could fold the thing down. You could leave the hard plastic on and the window. So, just the back end or like your tailgate would be open. So I just thought, that's kind of nice. It's kind of universal. But like I said, it's just kind of a fairy tale probably, because I just, if you're going to do it, like I said, just get a van as far as I'm concerned. They're cheap. Insurance isn't crazy on them. They're easy to maintain. They're not 4-wheel drive, so there's less moving components. Listen to Scotty Kimler. You ever listen to Scotty Kimler? What's he got? Like 6-something million subscribers, right? There's less moving parts. So, oh, Mick is. The Queen was a mechanic. It says, hey, or into weight distribution hitch, that would transfer more weight to the front. So that's, that's a good point for Rich B. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. But you know how it is when it's typically employees. They're not gonna know how to hook it up, and they're not gonna know how to do the chains. Not that they couldn't be educated. And then the trailer has to be modified, which isn't super duper hard, but that's a very valid point. You know what I mean? That's very true. You know what I mean? But I just I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. You know how you ever watch like people like do stuff and you're just like, like don't do it that way. Like don't turn the trailer so sharp. You're gonna eventually kink it and do stuff. And I've had trailer hitches bent and all kinds of weird stuff or jackknifed, and so I don't know. It just seems like when you got like a big service van, it's just like when you have a regular van. That's why I'm always like, minimum you do for a Chevy Express is you got to do a 2500. I would go the 3500 if it's me, because you normally can't max those ones out. It seems like because you just don't have enough room. But on those cutaway vans, and you got room. You know what I mean? Like you got enough room in there, and so you're loading that puppy, and you just start accumulating stuff and nuts and bolts from jobs, and you just got all these compartments because you feel like a free man. You're just like, oh, I got all this room, and why would I not carry it? I can carry all this stuff. I'll never have to ever go back to the shop, and so you can just start kind of overloading it, and then by the time you put a trailer on, it's like, oof, we're a little on the heavy end here. Yes, the cash talks volumes. That's why normally, for me, even like I said, you always keep the cash. The weekend, man, that's when you'll find them too. You know what I mean? Then you got an advantage because if it's on the weekend, typically people can't get the money, especially if it's after Saturday, a certain time, whatever. They can't pull enough money out through the ATMs and that. So if you're sitting on some cash, you find a good deal on the weekend, right? Because somebody just had a blow up, somebody's getting a divorce, somebody's upset, somebody just wants this out of their, I want this thing gone, whatever. They just do random stuff, and you can be the guy that shows up and goes, hey, like, how about I pay you this? Make this go away. And they just go, yes, because I'm going to go buy me that new big screen TV or whatever. Customers think that offering cash will make the price go down. Cash or check price is the same. You're still getting a receipt. Is it Will? What's up, Will? What y'all going on? We are just talking some business. What's up, kid? Do y'all, what's this say? Do y'all do credit checks on customers? Or is that one big franchise that do that? Interesting. Do you all do credit checks? Oh, I don't think so. Not really. No, I don't think they make the Astro van anymore, Rich. But anyways, for Evan there, no, we don't do any, like, I don't know anything about I think that's obviously big for, we don't do any credit checks on customers. You know what I mean? I mean, eventually it's going to be that way for everybody. I mean, you already know, like, if you do, like, Facebook or something like that, right? It already tells you, like, this person's a good responder. They'll respond in, like, 30 minutes. Or this one's a rating. I mean, there's eventually going to be a system. There's already systems out there, I guarantee, behind the scenes, or just like your credit, right, that are doing, checking us. So, but with a customer, you can do your own, right? You can see where they live before you make an appointment, or if you say, hey, let me call you back, let me check my schedule. You can, there's things you can check on. I got people that do like through the messenger. So of course, after they start talking for a little bit and stuff either sounds good or bad, I kind of go, yeah, I'm going to check out their profile here. And then I'll, I can kind of see if it's, oh wow, they go to every whale show, so they obviously like dolphins, right? I mean, isn't that what Tommy always talks about, right? The Tommy Malo, A1, like know what they like, I mean, go there, talk about hunting, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So it doesn't hurt. It's a little bit of ammunition. The Astro van, my buddy used to have one with a big hood. the big top, you know, they had like the radio and they put some cool lights in there, right? He always really impressed. He could make it bounce, hitting the brakes. Had a bed that fold down. You know, every young kid loves the bed in the back. I don't know why. I mean, you know why. Oh, my credit checks around and see if they can afford me. Joe, guess I sign on the truck with your business name. Is good also some do the whole truck wrap. Is that a waste of money? I don't know if it's really a waste, but I can tell you one thing. So I did a full wrap on my truck at one time, right? So this is just a little teaser I can tell you about it, right? For one, this is where it gets a little slicey dicey, right? And so I want to tell you this out of experience, and you do whatever you want to do with it. But so like I had the Ford Raptor, right? I wrapped it, right? Sweet truck. But then I'm using the truck for personal too. So here's the problem, right? There's gonna be a time, and it might not seem like right now, because when you're, you know, kind of when you're desperate and you're hungry and you want business, right? You're just always in this illusion, like, oh, I just, you know, always want it. But there's a time, right, that stuff starts coming in, you start kind of getting busy, you're kind of like, you know what, this is enough, right? And then you go to a parking lot, let's say it's Walmart, whatever, you know, could be your local grocery store, right? And you know, you start getting people that walk up and you're not really dressed in the right apparel. You know what I mean? Let's, you know, the wife's changing, you know, a poopy diaper on the kid or something. You know what I mean? It's just, it starts to become where like it's like, as weird as it is to think about, this is what I thought about. One time I went, oh my gosh, now I understand why there's so many cars that run around with no, like, they don't put their names and stuff. I mean, some people do, I guess. You know, some people say this is a Dodge, you know, but whatever. You know, I'm just like, wow, I'm really amazed, because like they don't want that attention. You know what I mean? I don't want people to know my name or this, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's a double-edged sword. That's so what I'm getting at is, like, if you're kind of doing stuff, you obviously try to leave that as like business, you know what I mean? Maybe not so much personal, because sometimes it can be a bloody mess, mixing personal with business. That's why I talk about, like I said, hey, maybe a van. Vans are typically cheaper. Vans are cheaper to maintain. You buy a Chevy Express, they're a very reliable vehicle, especially anything in the 2006 or older, that the solid LS motor, 4.8, 5.3, am I saying that right? And then the 6-liter, they're bulletproof motors. You know, the transmissions, yeah, if you took care of them, they're all right, you know, but they're a little on the weak, but, you know, you still get, you know, whatever, 150, 180, 200,000 miles out of them. And more. The motors will go forever. I mean, the motors will go 400,000 pretty much all day, and you can be pretty abusive on them, not change the oil, stuff like that. But they're just cheap, and they get the job done. You know what I mean? And the thing is everything's locked up, everything's secure. If you live in bad weather, like you get rain and you get snow, like we do in Michigan, it's all safe. You can just throw your tools. I was just working. Where we were just working. I feel like I was just doing something with the Wafertron. I can't think of her off the top of my head. Where are you? That's a big one. If it's a dragonfly, I'm not gonna. I got a new. I like dragonflies. They're our friends. But I was doing something, and I was telling the Wafertron. I said, remember why I said we like the vans? I said, because look at it. I said, it's the evening time right now, and I said, here we got to deal with this mess. I said, where before I would just shut the doors and away we go. I said, but now I got to clean up this mess. I said, I got stuff that's going to blow out, cardboard, whatever. I don't remember what I was working on. But but even just a regular, you can do regular, just something's nice, you know. I guess what I'm getting at though is the big thing is make sure if you do a wrap or whatever, just make sure people it's very what is it? I see so many people around town that I'll see the truck and it's like, you know, I'm like, oh, what's that truck say? You know, and it goes by and I'm like looking, and I got the wife with me too, you know, and I'm just like what was it? What was it? I seen it was red and it was black and what? She's like, I don't know. I seen like it. And I'm like, it what? They do windows, garage doors. What do they do? Furnace, HVAC? What do they do? What was it? You know, so it's kind of one of those things because like today, I had to reach out to another concrete guy, and he's got bandit signs. I did verify. You can check online, honestly. I checked online to see if his phone was a cell phone, not a landline. It's a cell phone. So easy squeezy. I just shot him a text. I'm like, hey man, I'm like, you do like, can you do like certain projects? And he's like, yeah. He's like, what do you got? I'm like, hey, I'll send you dimensions. I'll send you pictures. I got a little video. I got to do something, I think, tomorrow. And he's like, all right, great, cool, thanks, you know, whatever. And I'm like, bada bing, bada boom. So bandit sign, but he actually wasn't on Google. He's only got a Facebook. He must be newer, right? So I don't know, but he's hungry because he's putting out bandit signs, and I know he's local. So, and I think, yeah. Half down if you don't. There's probably a reason. Yeah, half down is always good. Half down, or I let things slide a little bit sometimes if it's a stock item. If it's special order, oh heck no, that is a code red, right? But and it's like too, like certain things, right? Like I don't want to let people waste my time. Like I said, most of my stuff that you ever see me touch has all been done by text and pictures. It's almost like the first time I go out there, that's the first time I've been there. You know what I mean? Unless it's close, but like there's certain things like I just like if you're doing something I think after hours or around the weekends, oh heck no. Like I'm getting a service call out of you, a heck of a service call. I'm gonna get half down, even if you're signing up for something for next week. You know what I mean? Because I'm coming out like after, like I'm missing time with my family to help your family. No. We're tying this. I'm getting something out of here. I'm not leaving empty-handed, right? Let's see. Normally I try to get half down on openers. Never had anyone burn me for an opener since I kept them in stock. Anyways, yeah, I don't know if I've ever had somebody burn me on an opener either. But I don't see why they can't, right? I know I've been burned on a spring clamp, right? Like I remember I went there, I clamped the spring. I didn't have it at the time. I was kind of like I was probably like in the Evan stage, where I was, didn't have stock springs and stuff. And I remember clamping it, and I remember the guy calling up, and he's like, and I knew he was already kind of questioning me. He's like, what's wrong with that? And I'm like, it's a temporary fix. Like that's not the right way to fix it. Like it could last a week, it could last a year, I don't know. Like it's just a temporary fix. I didn't put as many turns on this one. Like it's a temporary fix, but you're good to go for now. Try to use it sparingly. And I remember he called back like whatever, like later that day or something, and he's like, hey man, he's like, I just want to leave that clamp on there. And I'm like, fudge. And I'm like, the clamp is like whatever it was, $70 or something, and then the service call 65. I'm like, so I'm like, I gotta still send you. Oh, that's fine. But now I'm like, is this dude gonna pay? You know what I mean? Now I didn't get nothing from him. You know what I mean? Where if I would at least when I'm there, that's why I'm always like, when you're there, you need to get a service call from them. Even if you're only charging $35, if it's $65 or $85 or $150, you got to get something from them, and then tell them, say, this will be taken off when we come to install the springs or the opener or whatever. We'll take this off. But that way you tied them up, because now in their head they're going, oh, well, I already gave him $150, and he's going to take that $150 off my $500 bill. So, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to get something, you got to tie it up, because then that way too, if somebody else, your competition comes in, and they're like, maybe your margins are real tight, and they, well, I could do it for this. Well, I already gave the guy 150, so I mean, I'm already out that money. I'm just gonna keep it with him. You know what I mean? I appreciate you calling, but I'm all set. You know what I mean? And somebody else is in there trying to dig hard, trying to lose your, for you to lose business. And at least if they do somehow come in and they say, well, that guy's at 500, I'll do it for 300. You know what I mean? Okay, but at least you got paid whatever your parts are, clamp, and your service call that day. If it's after hours or during normal business hours or whatever you charge, you got paid. You know what I mean? So it's no sweat. They call you up. Hey, we don't need you to, but that's why too, just like with the door, you might want to do half down, but if you're okay with carrying, maybe a non-insulated hollow door or whatever, you're like, that's no big deal. But when you're a small fish, you typically don't got a lot of room for that stuff. So you don't have a garage you want to start cluttering up. You don't want to put it outside. I'm telling you, garage doors suck outside. Like if somebody can find a time capsule, I shouldn't say a time capsule, but they can find a capsule to put those things in that would keep them sealed like a Ziploc bag, hook me up. Because I've tried everything. I've tried tarps. I've tried putting pieces of wood on them. Then the tarp sags and the water seeps in and then it stains the door. And I'm telling you, man, garage doors suck. They absolutely suck. It's one of the worst things. I think I'd rather pick up manure. I think I'd rather clean a poopy diaper than deal with garage doors that I have to clean. All the crevices, oh, you gotta tear them apart. I mean, they're just horrible. They're horrible to clean. What I miss? Not much, Tony. We're just yakking away. Dave said he was switching to Surewinder. That's a good one, Rusty. I like it. Usually when you run their car, it's a no or go. True. Or you do like Papa Tony or whatever, you charge a fee. But you gotta remember, I don't think many of you guys have experienced, but I've had, chargebacks or whatever it is, where they like later on they canceled. So that's why, ever since I heard it from that tow truck driver, I said, hey, how do you want me to pay? I said, I'll do check, cash, whatever works for you, whatever works good for you and your employees, whatever you want. And he was just like, he just said, let's do cash. Cash is simple. And I thought, that's the best god darn saying I ever heard. You know what I mean? Let's do cash. Cash is simple. And I thought, there ain't much more to say than that. That's like an old John Wayne thing, just cash is simple. All right, yep, let's do that. So that's why I do sometimes with a customer, I'm like, this is a cash is simple. Because if I do a check, could bounce. I might maybe, who knows, whatever. It's just, you just don't know. You just don't know. And I've had a credit card one time. We did a customer that was long distance and he rejected the payment. And then the credit card company just automatically took the money out of the account. Wasn't that fun, right? I went to the accountant one day. The accountant's like, oh yeah. It's like a week later almost something. She's like, I seen a couple days or whatever. She said, they took that money out. I was wondering what that was about. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I just got this letter like today. And she's like, yeah, they already pulled that. And I'm like, what the, and of course they don't give you any details. Really, it was an amount. That's all I had, like an amount and a date. So I had to go through all my stuff to find out who this person is at this time and this date and this amount. And, I mean, think about it. When you're doing, whatever, 3 or 5 openers a week, at the same price, it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? And then some days you do 2 openers a day or something, So it's like, you're looking for this amount. Luckily, it's not like, saturated. So it's like, oh, okay, here's this one. It's got to be this guy. It's got to be this guy that's out in another, these few cities over. And, I call the guy and I'm like, and I'm thinking this dude's trying to chisel us. And so I said, hey, you had a charge and, oh, well, I seen it was over in Muskegon. And so I thought it was a fraudulent charge. I thought it was a storage unit place or something. And I'm like, nope. I'm like, that was us. And he's like, oh, okay. He goes, I'll send you a check. And I mean, there wasn't a lot of conversation. I'm not, hey man, I'm really sorry about that. Oh man, I'll send you a check. And I thought, oh, great. Here we go. Yep, I'm gonna send a check. And I'm like, does he even have our address? I'll send you a check. And I'm like, he's not gonna send a check. This dude's like, he knows how to play the system. And I'm like, great. So we're out of an opener and we're out the money. That's awesome. And lo and behold, a few days later, whatever, 4 or 5 days later, a check showed up in the mail. I'll be darned. He did pay, but the fact that they could do that, that's why, cash is king. Cash is simple. Now you might get, I've seen, there's fake $100 bills. I haven't even thought about getting the marker. We had a string, a string of checks at one point that were bad, bouncing checks, and that's a real pain in the system. So we always take copies, so we can kind of backtrack. And I remember I was about ready to pull the trigger. I think it was a $300 or $600 machine or something like that, where you could do it like at the grocery store. Remember, I don't think they do it anymore, but remember how they used to put it in the machine, and maybe they still do. I just haven't seen nobody pay with check hardly anymore. And it'd run through a few times, and then it's a valid check. I thought about buying one because I was just getting so irritated. It was like every time a customer would be like, and it's like you like grab it, son of a biscuit, any good, or is it gonna bounce? And this, you don't know, when you're dealing with tight margins, I got a secretary, and I got a wife, and I got all this stuff you got to take care of, behind the scenes for this stupid thing, and you can only do it like twice, and then the check is like in void, and then the bank won't even like let you know or whatever. They won't issue. I think once you get on the check, they won't even give the check back. So that's another thing. That's why I make copies, because now the thing's gone. So now it'll tell you like you had a check that didn't, something of this amount, and so maybe it says a date on it too again or something. I can't remember, but that's why you got a copy, so you can go back through your files, so your deposit slip, and you're like, oh, so this customer right here, it's got their address, phone number, they're in the system, they're getting a phone call. So doesn't lemonade and cookies on the corners just sound easier sometimes? Or maybe the vending machine that gets beat up once in a while, so what, they got a few Snickers bars. It happens, maybe there's a camera in there, catch an employee, gets fired or something from the, but then there's these things that we do. We pay all this money for advertising. We chase like little dogs, and then it's like, then when we get rewarded, it's like getting a biscuit that's like a sour biscuit. You know what I mean? Like they give us one that's a fake biscuit. It's actually cow manure. Here you go. Here's a biscuit, doggy. That we eat it. That's a horrible biscuit. Saying that's what it just seems like sometimes. I'm playing. I'm just having fun here. But customers can be fun. Do I have a 10 millimeter missing? I think I got like 3 missing. Rusty, keep all the openers. Do you choose it for your customer? I think Rusty gives them options. He'll probably put it in there. No 10 millimeter here. Like always, it's always missing. Joe, he's got all the models there. And stock. Show the customer the price. Let them pick. Magnetic signs, yes. Those are good too. Because you never know. Kind of like old cousin Evan. You know what I mean? You just don't know, man. You'd like to think, but all it takes is one person to squeal, and they don't like something, right? And there's a lot of Karens out there, right? And they'll I'm not liking the stuff on the outside. I don't like the trailer out back. I think they're running a business. You know what I mean? I'm calling the township. You know what I mean? And now you just made it plain as day. Oh, this one ain't gonna come off. Whoa, I can't take that one off. That one's stuck. I was gonna show you my magnet. This was a magnet we used to have for something, one of the trucks, but she's breaking apart. But these are another ones. I forget which ones these went on. These ones are getting pretty rough. But I just keep them around for kind of memories. But that way at the end of the day, they can come off. You can come home as a regular civilian. Hello, neighbors. Hello. Yes, I was at work today. You don't need to know where I work. No. I was at work today. And I drive home in my regular car with regular paint, just like all of you. Yes. Now have a great day. Don't worry about my business. Thanks, Rusty. Thanks. Those can be taken off at will with magnet signs. Yeah, the magnet ones you can just peel off easy on and off. They make some pretty nice ones now. I mean, they got some really there's so much more graphics and stuff you can do that are really pretty sharp. You don't even have to do nothing really sharp. You just, like, I mean, to be honest, like for me, I normally just want to see something. Like when I see a vehicle slow down, in front of a house or something like that, it's just nice. Like if it says, it's a power company, or, oh, it's, if it's Uber or whatever it is. I don't think I've ever seen one that said Uber, but I'm just saying, John's to go, whatever. It could be, what I mean, garage doors. Oh, it's just, the neighbor, I heard their door's crooked. It's been crooked for 2 days. It's where he's looking for, and then they're more willing to help, especially pulling the driveway for customers. It's just nice to have something, just something real simple. You know what I mean? Just so they know it's you, because, sometimes you get busy and you don't tell them, say, hey, I'm going to be driving a gray Nissan, and, they just, they get nervous. They don't know who it is. So I don't think it's the end all be all. I mean, like I said, I don't know if we do the wraps. Obviously, the cutaway doesn't. It's more or less there's just a name on it, you know what I mean, of some sort. Um, and I'm torn. I mean, I'm torn. I don't think there's really. I mean, one guy, electrician, said his business improved. He thought when he bought the more service type truck, he has a service type truck. He's an electrician, but he said for his commercial, and I agree, commercial is a different animal. Residential, it all depends. It all depends. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I went past a place today and I seen a nice, it was for plumbing, I think, and nice big yellow van, and all I kept thinking when I seen it, I went, there's a con man in that van. I thought, oh, there's the salesman. I bet they're paying top dollar. You know what I mean? And they just probably overwhelmed. They probably didn't know who to call. They probably, or these people could get out right away, and that's why they charge the premium dollar. Not saying it's right or wrong, but that's also why they can have the nicer stuff too, possibly. It's just all how you want to do it, right? Like the A1, right? They're doing the low service call, right? But they're got their guys doing that paid for performance type stuff. So the guys are going in there going, oh, a broken spring, oh, that's horrible. We're here right now. We could change it out for you. You're probably looking at 2,500. To probably about maybe. Oops, my thing stopped there. You're probably looking at $2,500 to $5,000, and the customer's like, oh, really? I don't really want to tell him no, and he's already here, and I have no clue because I have no time to research it. And so they pay the, I think somebody just around the area, but of course, right, these are the repercussions nowadays. This person was on the social media there, and I've tried playing with this a little bit, like when you see somebody ask for something, and you got to kind of watch it, right? They blasted this person hard. They said, they said this company came out. I think they charged me a ridiculous price. It was, $1,800, I think, for a pair of springs. And they said the cable came off. It's only been, a week later. And now they're not answering their phone. And, I mean, they were ticked, right? And then, of course, now here comes in, right, the whole other slew of people. Oh, yeah, that place, I would never, that place, this and that, charge that much? How much? That's just ridiculous, So the world has changed, you know what I mean? Like, it never used to be like that when I first started out. You had the phone book, I mean, like, what are they gonna do, right? They might be word of mouth, but they can't change the phone book. So it's just, things are a little different. All right, let's see where we're at. Thanks, Rusty. Rich thinks those can be taken off. Let's see, Joe, if you get me a sign, take them off. Monthly clean underneath them. That's true. Yeah, they get nasty. They get sometimes I think they'll rust underneath. They'll get like little pits for your paint and stuff. So it's a good idea to wash both sides and stuff, clean it, wax it. I don't know about wax, but maybe. This chat is a great source of information. Experience. Thanks, Joe. It is. You got some great guys here. Like I said, a lot of us, we've been in the trenches, man. We've done a lot of different things. Hey, Joe, you could always go on my channel. Yeah, Papa Tony's always got good stuff. Different ideas, ways, advertising, getting ready to go racing in 5 minutes. Oh, shoot. Look like Lee now. Stray Kids. Supposed to, he says, took my money. And then you had do all the leg work. Oh, my gosh. I know. get paid for it. Oh man, it's so now check it out. Nice. Thanks, Joe. Try to think outside. Yeah, Papa Tony's got a lot of good stuff. Am I hiring? I don't think you're probably local, is my guess. You was a machine at Box Store a couple times. Mm, a couple times. No idea what it was for. Doing, brother? Doing good. Is it Downing? What's up? Nice. Like the grab for a factory. I don't know what that means. Do you have this chat? It's not a lag. Dave is just very exported. Is it? I don't know why YouTube gives me these suggestions, but I'm writing. Thanks. I don't know either. Dave, changing, paying top dollar is a good thing. Hey, like I said, hey, every business is different. You know what I mean? HVAC? No, I did do a little bit of HVAC. I'm new. Sorry. Oh, you're good. Plumber? Garage doors, springs, parts. Good. Jerry Mold's still here, involved in the business of garage doors. I'm playing nice. He says that one's been held for this one. He reads his comments. Let's see. It sounds like it was more expensive than Rusty. I don't know. It's hard, All right, like the country and state, Muskegon, Michigan. Haven't talked about the California garage door school guy in a long time. I just looked him up, Rich, and I seen I think he had a video out not too long ago, a few weeks or month. Because I was like, I haven't heard from this guy in a while. I haven't heard nobody email me, nothing. And he's still, I don't know what he was doing. I think he was bebopping around for, something for, I don't remember, what it was $2,500, one job or something. I don't know. Normally reads them in order, so he gets, if you go through till he gets down here. YouTube and their suggestions. So Michigander, that's right. Nobody. He's in Muskegon. That's right, though. That's what we call them, Michiganders. We got the trolls, and then we got the Youpers. I wish it could be a Youper. Youper, the better name. I'd be a Youper. Because they actually know their numbers and what it takes to get a profit, like driveway prices, and to be friends with customers is losing strategy. Joe says, sorry again for me learning experience. You guys get a call for a door opener. What do you offer them? LiftMaster, have them go to Home Depot, install. There's so many ways, Joe, that you can do it. There's just so many ways. I tell a lot of people, I really think it comes down to your dealer, right? And when I say dealer, it could be Home Depot, it could be Menards, it could be Lowe's, it could be your local lumberyard company, it could be your local garage door company that provides you with good service. Whoever takes good care of you. I'm telling you, this is my opinion. The openers nowadays are complete garbage. They're not the same. They are not the same. Do they work? Yeah, they work. You know what I mean? Are they good and reliable and you're going to get probably 20 or 30 years? Hell no. You might get 5, 8, 10. You know what I mean? There's just, you pull some out of the box, they don't even work right out of the box. So, it just depends on what you're doing. If you're going to stock them, you stock them. You know what I mean? But if you're a onesie twosie, I use a box store. You know what I mean? Go to the box store, get yourself a good. I just went to the one. I did a little live on it today. The Genie screwdriver. I really am a true believer. You got 3 different speeds on that thing. It's a powerhouse. Occasionally they could do the red light of death. think they don't do that hardly anymore, but I don't do enough of them to confirm that. But the Chamberlains, we've just, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. It's sometimes it's light bulbs, sometimes it's wall buttons, sometimes it's photo eyes. Sometimes I guess the staplers are pushing too hard nowadays when they didn't push too hard before, even though we use round staples. But I think it's because they're using a thinner coating, a thinner wire, and like LiftMasters. Which one is it, Rich? It's Blackstone, right? They got bought out. That is just, I think they're just a media company now. I think they're just a data company. So I think they could absolutely care less about the guy out in the field, right? I don't see them like going to plastic covers. Come on, man. Plastic covers for in September, the new operators? Come on. You know what I mean? LiftMaster used to always have metal covers. That's why guys liked them. I even liked them. Like I said, the red cover one, those are beautiful machines. Beautiful. They were just, I mean, they were like looking at like a 67 GTO or something, you know what I mean? Just beautiful to look at, right? And now they're gonna be plastic covers. Because they're just feeding us more garbage, more plastic. So if I gotta go plastic, well, I might as well just go with Genie. You know what I mean? At least Genie, you can still do dry contacts. They just don't seem like there's as many weird glitches. The sun don't seem like it irritates the eyes as bad. I don't know about the new photo eyes. But Chamberlain, like I said, if you got service and you can deal with it and you can go and return it, well, then there you go. You got the receipt. You take it to the receptionist. They say just go out back and grab another one. You know what I mean? That's going to save you a lot of headache because I was always the one that was the believer. And this is just my demographic area. This isn't for everybody's, right? But my demographic area, like I said, when I installed for Lowe's, I install, like I said, to this day, I think I've only had one in my whole career that ever asked me, that's like, can you do another one? Like, I want one just like that one that matches up. And I'm like, okay. Or I had one customer maybe tell me one time, hey, you know why the guy I reused you guys? And I'm like, what? What was it? Tell me the secret sauce. They're like, he's like, because you use LiftMaster. Yep, you're a LiftMaster dealer, so that's why I used you. Like, I don't see it being such a fanboy like John Deere's. John Deere's, that's a different story. There's a lot of proud boys out there with the John Deere's or the red machines. I can't think what's the red machines. But I'm just saying, for the most part, if it's just a single opener, like they just they don't know. They don't know. That's probably why when you go into most people's houses, right? You go to most people's house, you're not going to find a Speed Queen, a good quality machine, unless it's the grandma old one that's the yellow colored, that still outlived grandma and is going to outlive you. It's going to be the one they bought from Best Buy. It's going to be the one they bought from Lowe's or Menards or Home Depot, right? And it was cheap. I bought the cheapest one, or I bought the next one up. It was $100 more. But they have no idea what the internals are. They just know they want to plug it in, it runs. And that's kind of the society we live in. You know what I mean? Like the mini split, right? The mini split had problems. I got to a point, I already got $300 into this thing for, what is it, like $1,200 or whatever. I could have a whole new one. Throw it away and get a new one. And so that's the world we're living in. There's some good car. I just sent it to Tony and Rich B. We were watching why mechanics are falling off because of the quality of products. And dude, I'm in the same boat. I feel the same thing. I mean, you get Genies, right? All these RPM sensor problems. Come on, like what is going on here? How did this happen? Yeah, they just all do it. They all got crap. I'm just always trying to find the cleanest shirt in the dirty laundry basket, basically for a lot of the new guys starting out, you know what I mean? But you just got to find, like I said, I think the dealer, it's just like a car, right? You think, well, I'm going to drive a Jag. Okay, well, where are you going to get it worked on? Where's the local Jag dealer? Oh, it's 8 hours away. You think you're going to drive 8 hours? Oh, but Jags never break. Okay, all right, let's be serious. They all break, you know what I mean? Like, and you're gonna need a front end alignment or something. It's like when I had the BMW, right? And then I took it to a local shop, and the guy just like, I don't even know why I took it there, but he calls me back and he goes, oh, we can't work on this. They got to load it. They actually strap it down like it's under wind, and that's how they do it. So you're gonna have to take it out to Grand Rapids. And I'm like, no way, dude. I'm like, I'm selling this thing. Like, I got that kind of time. What you got? Rusty telling me there was something about their business model they were a fan of. I can't remember what it was. I got something. Joe's, how you said? It says I only sell with the LiftMaster and try my best. Oh, it moved on me. Try to avoid customer installs. Yep, that can be a thing too. I mean, or some people it's you provide the opener, and I'll install it. You know what I mean? And that's a blessing sometimes too, because then it's not. You can install it and go, but there is a caveat to it. If you're not seasoned and you're not diversified, like me, I'm very diversified. I don't think there's any opener except maybe Marantec. I can't do without reading instructions, or the Somber. But I can do Extreme. I can do Guardian. I feel comfortable in all of them for programming pretty easily. But that's one thing you can struggle with if and it's different because I've had it with employees. You send a guy out there and now he smashes something in the head and you're like, was it because he didn't know? Was the machine defective? Was the machine defective out of the box? So there's a whole caveat. But if it's just you, it's not so big deal, right? You're the one that's there, you're doing it, you're like, hey, this isn't working right out of the get-go. You can tell the customer, it's going to be at least another service call for me to come back out. I'm labor. I'm not, you bought this. I would recommend maybe you buy a Chamberlain and they bought a Guardian or whatever Extreme. There's option. Take it back, exchange it. Josh, only 3% of Michigan's population lives in upper. Only 3%? Whoa, I did not know that. All I know is I really would hope maybe possibly one day I can be up in I was just talking to the wife about it's past Trevor. It's Petoskey. Petoskey is beautiful. It's really laid back. There's a different I want to get up there and explore that place a little more because there's just something about Petoskey that just got my attention. But the problem is I don't like going north. It's cold. Don't like the snow. Neighbor that used to hang sheetrock and stuff. Hanging out in Michigan. See, he moved down to Mississippi. Oh man, stays out of that snow. That's why I asked Rusty because that's why of your offers. Hey brother, nothing but love. Oh man, what's up, man? Downey, what's up? Nothing but love, man. Same here. Like, what's good? Hey, we're all alive. We're all here. We're all kicking still. Hopefully, all got some food in our belly. It's a good day. I'm out. Have a good night. Well, thanks for being here. Joe. I gotta watch this battery. Where was this one? Out something Evan's got. Joe, I normally pick up Chamberlain because I'm not usually keeping openers in stock. I only had one customer, especially asked for a LiftMaster, but that was because he had another door away. And you got the box store. Like I said, if you got the box store that's not too far away and you can just run down, I mean, why carry the crap, right? It's gonna get dust. You got to move it around. It gets beat up. You know what I mean? So it's convenient, just run to the box store, maybe grab two eventually, so you don't have to run to the box store. It saves you 10, 15 minutes of going in there. There's all different ways how you can slice it. There's many different ways to make your bed. There's many different ways to skin a cat. So all over the place, LOL. No, Joe, here's the thing, right? I think you just have to, there's a lot of truth that my way isn't going to work for your way, or for Cousin Evan, or for Tony, or for Rich B, or for Rusty, right? There's so many different ways you can do it. I've learned over the years is I've learned that you need to find whoever you're going to use, and if they provide you good service. Now, so here's like an example. The problem is when you buy these openers, we'll buy skids of openers, right? You go through them, right? You run into problems, you run into warranty issues and stuff like that. You got to get an RGA, right? Most of the manufacturers want to send you parts, right? They don't want to change out the whole head unit. So think about this, right? You go to a customer, you install it, right? And you're like, oh man, it's not running. Like, what the heck, man? I've done 50 of these. I've done 100 of these. I don't, what's going on? So now you call tech support. Tech support walks you through. You get some weird kind of person on the phone. Nah, nah, nah. Is this, is that. Okay, okay. Yep, we think it's the RPM sensor. Okay. You know, we'll send you another one. It takes 5 to 7 business days. Okay. You know, or we can expedite it, but you got to pay for it. And then we have to warranty the other, you know, all this crap. Right? So now a week goes by, right? I've had this happen. That's why I get a little bit excited about it. So a week goes by, a part comes in. Oh, sweet, right? But you're already busy. You're already busy with other stuff, right? Other stuff that makes money, right? You're like, man, I got to do the fence, I got to do gates, I got to do garage doors. I got this other customer. I still got to go on a date with my babe. Oh my God, you know. And so now you go back to the customer. You call the customer, right? All this stuff takes time. You don't think about it when you're first starting out, but it all takes time. It all takes seconds. You know, it takes seconds. Deet, deet, deet. Ring, ring, ring. Are they going to answer? Are they going to, you know, oh, hi. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's me, the garage door. Yeah. Hey, can I set up a time with you? Can we do it for tomorrow? Blah, blah. Oh, okay. Can we do it for Friday? Oh, Friday doesn't work either. Oh, okay. Can we do, how about we do Saturday? You know, okay, we'll do Saturday. I was gonna go camping Saturday, but that's when it works for them. And they've already been down a week, and they're already upset. And gosh, I hope they don't, you know, go on Facebook or they go on Google and give me a bad review. You know, all these things. So then you go there. You install the part. The flipping thing is not working at all. You're just like, it's doing the same thing. You're doing the same. What's going on here, right? And now it's Saturday. Right? Saturday. Now you tech support, you can't get tech support. Right? So now you're just left and you're like, I don't know what to do. Right? And the customer's looking at it, the customer's starting to get upset. The customer's like, are you an idiot? Do you not know what you're doing? Like, I hire the wrong person? Like, you're like, I don't know what to do. You know? And so you have to come back because you got to be on the phone to get the RGA and the serial number and whatever. And you got to try to diagnose and they're going to have you test a few things. Instead, what you would do is you would take that pile of crap, whatever it is, and you stuff it back in the box and you take it back to the store like a little consumer granny and you go, it don't work. And the person behind the desk doesn't give a rat's butt. That's not coming out there. They don't care. And they go, oh, well, what would you like? Would you like an in-store credit? Would you like a refund? Or would you like to exchange it for another one? And you go, I like to exchange it for another one because I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm not getting paid to diagnose this pile of poo-poo and I just need it to work. So you walk back, right, and you give it back. You give that one to them, right? Maybe you only got one remote. Maybe you get 2 remotes now. I don't know, you know. And then you grab another one. You walk up and you smile, and they go, "You're all set. And they have a nice day," you know. And you're like, "Yay!" And you walk out and you go install it. It works. The customer's happy. Everybody's happy. The customer provided it too. You can make them like your little employee. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it don't because of the time, right? But you can either have them go. I've done that with a lot of Lowe's customers. They needed backhand kits. And I'm like, hey, we could change this out, but like, you know, and I don't have enough employees. So I'm sitting there going like, you can run, and most people are kind-hearted. They want their stuff right. And some people are very knowledgeable and understand that. And they're like, what do you need? Do you want me to get you a pop? You want a sandwich while I'm out? Like, well, you need this kit? Yeah, not a problem. You need something else? You know, chunk of weather seal? Not a problem. I'll get it for you. They'll zoom out and get it for you. Now you got another employee. And so, you know, it's just it's imagination. It's just how you create whatever situation you're in, and however you make baby money. Make that baby money. So many different ways. But like I said, that's why I'm always big about the dealers. You know, like WD would screw us on parts all the flipping time. So we got the Rich B doors here, and they work great. The stuff is in there like it's supposed to be. It's real simple. The price is amazing, and they deliver, and their delivery is super duper duper cheap. So you can't complain. You know what I mean? So it's just about, you know, and so I never wanted to be that person that always got stuck on a certain manufacturer because I knew this day would come that there's certain things that just are, you know, that aren't going to work. You know, You know, do I think Nissan's always going to be the best company? Depends on what you're buying. Their cars are crap. Certain trucks are good. Chevy, same thing. They got certain vehicles that are junk. Some vehicles are good. Ford has the same thing. Everybody has different manufacturers put different amount of money, different engineers, had different tooling, and the stuff is always changing. You know what I mean? So you have to be. I think you have to be universal. But if stuff is working for you, then keep doing what works for you. You know what I mean? If you're not having, we ran into a problem. We're just having so many callbacks, and then I think the one was on a Genie. And I think I asked, I said, could you guys just send me a whole new head? And they're like, we can't do that, but we can send you parts. And they kept sending me parts. And after like 2 times of parts, I'm looking at the customer and I said, do you got the receipt for this? And he goes, yeah. I said, you still got the box? Yeah. Grab it, man. And I just stuffed that thing back in there. We went to the store. I was so upset, took it back. They no problem. I even got an upgrade. They didn't even charge me because I think it was through Home Depot. It was like a Home Depot install. I seen today that Home Depot was still charging. Was it Home Depot? I think they were charging $99. They were saying, it was the first thing. It said, here's an opener. It says, get your opener installed. $99. I thought, are you flipping kidding me? I thought they got to be still paying the installers the same price when we did it 10 years ago. $99 are probably paying them $89 or something like that. Because I think they made roughly like $10 or whatever. But I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, Rusty. What we got here? Chamberlain. So over chapter 10. James got Chamberlain's moving to plastic covers. That's from what I understand. I think that's what Mr. Freeze. I think that's what Eric sent me. Mr. Freeze, Eric sent over. They're going to, that's why when you were talking about the remotes, you know, Texas was talking about how they're a lot harder to program. I thought they're going to a different frequency, so they're not even going to go across most of them. And that's the thing. That's what really irritates me with Chamberlain. Chamberlain has changed their stuff so many times that it's like they know the system. They know the system. They're doing it because you can't make stuff universal. Stuff universal is not good. You know, that's not good for business. They can't sell you more product and stuff like that. So it really irritates me. Chamberlain. Oh, I seen a heart. Place. Where was I at on this one? Plastic James, I prefer. Liftmaster is Chamberlain. Oops. Is Chamberlain. Will. Rich, this is all news to me. Yeah. Yeah. You know, hey, we still all can be friends, and I want to be your friend. But I don't care if you do Chamberlain. I don't care if you do Liftmaster. I actually like Chamberlain. They're pretty easy to set up, in my opinion. But it was a sign to me today, I thought, a little bit. When I seen the Genie screwdriver at the Home Depot, and I was thinking it's $315. I thought, well, no wonder nobody likes this thing. I thought, that's kind of pricey. And it didn't come with a keypad. And I thought to myself, but there's guys out there that, we charge this or money and stuff. And I'm sitting there and going, okay, all right. I'm thinking to myself, I go, but you get what you pay for, right? And I thought, so right here is you're paying $315, but is it because you're paying for a more quality machine? There's more metal in there. There's a screwdriver in there. There's the C channel. I think it's a good machine. So like for like cousin Evan, and it might not work for him. You know what I mean? Because obviously if you don't have a dealer and you have a really good way to get them or anybody to exchange them for you or a hardware store, then it's probably not a good fit. But for me, to me, they're the less stinky shirt in the dirty laundry basket. You know what I mean? That's all. And they're readily available. That's the only thing. Because even like with Rich B vendor, I get nervous. I go, I don't want to burn my bridge and order these things, and then we have to send them back. We have to send them back on a truck, wait for the truck. You know what I mean? There's a lot of loops to go through versus I can take a machine and I can take it to the box store and there's no repercussions. You know what I mean? There's no hurt, there's no hate, there's no just like, here's your pile of poo poo and take this and we move on and you get it fixed right away. And you don't have to worry about a secretary. You don't have to worry about, did we ever really get refunded from this, or well, I think we did, but I never seen it. I'll have to go back and double check. Well, all that crap that double check is time, and time is money. And so you just have to do whatever works for you. And like I said, if you have good luck and everything works, then hey, do it. You know what I mean? Just whatever works. Like I said, that's why there's options, right? There's Chevy guys, there's Ford guys, there's whoever. Where is it? Evans, Rich. Haven't seen it yet, but that word is out. Yep, all of them are supposed to have cameras. They got plastic covers. They're going to the new remotes. I don't know how the new remotes are going to program it. Those are going to be okay easy, but I just know at certain things, I've seen how many times you got to click it, and I'm thinking that's worse than Genie. I'm placing a lot of LiftMaster with orange square learn buttons. The orange ones, huh? I wonder if Rusty knows what year those are. Placing a lot of those. One today was plugged into extension cord. Ooh, with no ground. Not sure if that's why it burned out. Then it kind of irritates me that they're not, like these boards, like it seems like they're prematurely getting rid of these boards kind of ahead of what they should. You know what I mean? So, and these are good openers. Now, there's good openers out there that just need a circuit board or just need a gear kit. And, it's like, that'll probably be next. They'll probably, we're not doing the gear kits anymore, I mean. Rusty, red 2000, a bit of both. Anderson, what's up? Hey, chicken from Southeast. Oh, Ohio. Nice. Finally got somebody from Ohio, man. Except for, was it Eric over there? I think those are 2, what does this say? 6'5". Rich has got, hello, Ohio. People just want the door to open and close. Yeah. That's it. That is it. That's what most people just, I've just never, it seems like you could get them a little bit more. It's like the price or maybe quietness. You can get them on that. Oh, yeah, you got a bedroom upstairs, it's a kid's room or something, or, wife and husband's room. And, yeah, a little quieter. We'd like to spend a little more money or this or that, or, jack shaft. They'll do the jack shaft because they just either seen the advertising or they, maybe they don't want to look at, some people think the rails and all that stuff are ugly, or they're going to do some kind of lift or something, so, but what's up, Ohio? Exactly Rich, customer today was ready for new unit, even though the house was only 2 years old. The door wasn't installed properly after the same adjustments. They're amazed that it ran better than the day they moved in. Nice. Good job, Evan. Tony is good. Busy. Like the video on pretty, yeah. The belt. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Evan, did you tell the guy a price? Let's see. With the 2-year-old opener. Joe. Good info, Dave. So with LiftMaster, we take it back to Rusty. Yeah, pretty much. We had like, I think the guys just junked them out because they just sat around for so long. We had some openers, some resis that sat in the corner, and it's like, what's wrong with these? They had some kind of issue, and instead of fighting with it with the customer at the job, they just swapped the head unit out or whatever, and they just start piling up. Well, you start looking at that pile, and to go through it. Well, then now they're whatever, 150, $200 a pop or so, right, a head. And then now it's like, is it really worth your time to screw with it and then run it? And then do you trust it that you think you fixed it, and then now you take it out in the field, and now the customer's calling you, hey, you just installed this, but it's acting up, and now you're going, I don't know if that was the one that had the bad whatever, da 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 da, and then you go back through the whole cycle of trying to call tech support. I mean, it's one of those things like how much is your time worth? And are you willing to spend 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 hours on this damn thing? Or you just junk this thing out for a couple $100 and you move on with your life? You know what I mean? So that's why I'm very adamant about your dealer. You know, who's going to work with you, who's a good product that you, if you don't have problems, then keep using them. You know what I mean? I can just tell you for our experience, like when we like Cap, he loves the Genie commercial drive, jack shaft and the trolley openers. And then I think I even just had Andy. Andy was commenting on a video, and he was like, he was showing me a brake setup, and he was, and I showed him. I said, yeah, I said, I don't really like the brakes on those commercial LiftMasters, the bigger ones, the J50s and the T50s. They just kind of drag. They're just kind of like they feel junk. They feel like they're junky. Like they don't lock down. They just kind of, you know what I mean? Where like the Genies, you got an adjustment on there. You can adjust it up or down, and you can make that puppy just bam. It can slap hard. It's like a clutch pad, and it can either really stop that door, or it can have a little bit of a drift to it. There's just so many more options, and it never sounds as junky to me as the LiftMaster with their brake system. There's always felt like it was like an afterthought, where the Genies just come with them. It's not even like an add-on. It's just they come with them. And when you're doing commercial doors, dude, I'm all about brakes. You know what I mean? Because you might have a door that's just not balanced out right, or when it goes up, it's just a drifter, because the springs are a little hot. When you get on big doors, man, they're a different animal. So I'm always a big, like put a brake on it. You just have so many more options. Worst case, you turn the brake off on a Genie. You turn it off. It drifts all around like you want. But you get people, man, I've had customers, oh, man, I went to shut it, and it drifts a foot, and it's like, yeah, well, to make it not drift that foot, like we need to change all 4 springs. All 4 springs. You're talking like $5,000, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And that's if we even get the right ones, the manufacturer and the weight and everything comes out. All it would have took was a brake. You know what I mean? To fix this problem, and you would never even know about it. And so that's why the Genie ones I just think are better. The commercial ones. Do I like programming them? Do I not like having physical limit nuts? No. I like the old LiftMasters, but we had circuit board problems. And then when you call LiftMaster tells you, oh, you really should change both circuit boards. Okay, well, how much is that? And it's like, whatever. It's like 200 or 400 here, another 400 here. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I got $800 or $1,200 in a stinking opener. And then, then it's like when you get them, the day you get them, it's like, do you just change the one and maybe get away with keeping the other? And you're like, but what if it zaps? Or what if you get a bad board? You know what I mean? So that's why I don't like that stuff. I don't give a crap what they tell you. Oh, well, it's under warranty. Dude, that's like the car stuff going on right now. That warranty stuff is absolute garbage, because when you're down without your vehicle for a week or a month, and they don't give you a rental, how happy are you then? You still got to make a car payment. You still got to pay full coverage insurance, unless you put it under, whatever, it's under maintenance or something. But that's a headache. I don't know about you guys, but I don't got kind of that kind of time in my life. You know what I mean? I just don't have just where I can just spend 6 hours a day always screwing with my cars because it's going in for warranty. They're going to cover it. It's like what was that one state that had the police cruisers? They were switching over to another brand because there was so many problems. I don't know if they were having problems with Dodge or what, but they were saying the problem is the car goes in, they get 2 or 3 that goes in, and it's not like they can get another cop vehicle from the dealership. I mean, these things are all outfitted and rigged, and the cage in the back, and I'm just like, yeah, that's like your service vehicle. That's like the garage door industry too. I mean, when do you call enough? Lights went out. 2-year-old Anderson. He goes, yes. He says, most of my customers don't care about controlling the door with their phone. Just want 2 remotes and a keypad. That's how I'm with you, man. That's why I was kind of bummed today when I went and looked at that Genie, that screwdriver, and I'm like, oh man, like for $315, and then they got their phone, right? They always show you the phone on there. I don't give a crap about your phone. Give me 2 remotes and a keypad. That's the key. So that's why I went with the LED. So I was going to we'll check it out sometime. But I'm going to also probably do a screw drive, because I think maybe like Cousin Evan, I got to find out the decibel thing. I wanted to do a decibel to see on my phone. I guess Rich said I could do it on my phone. So, because I don't have a decibel reader. If you get it from Lowe's, you better have the receipt. Is there tightening down? Yes, that is true. That is true. And I thought I heard a rumor. Supposedly it's not in Michigan that I know of, but I heard a rumor that, you know, they used to give you like, it was like a normal thing. You get like 90 days or something, right? And they're not doing that. They were doing like something like for like 10 days. So you gotta, so that's what I mean. Things are changing. So if it, you know, Lowe's isn't treating you good, maybe you got to go to Home Depot. If Home Depot, maybe it's still, you know, better than your lumber yard or your vendor, you know. So you just, you know, this stuff is always changing. What's up, Smith? Hope you're doing good. Evan says not really because we told him we inspect the whole door system, find out the going on because the middle roller kept popping out. Track. Discovered the flag bracket for the. I was live today. Oh man, I missed it. Springs and the track were crooked. Yeah, that's a common thing. The track gets. That's why I got the big blues. I like the big blue channel locks. You can clamp onto it and squeak it over because you get jams too, especially older houses and whatever. You know, the wood's crooked on you and you don't realize it. Doing good, Smith. Hope you're doing good. Tony, subscribe to your channel. Nice. What's this say? Did I send my grease? What's it say? Did I send my greasing a genie channel rail today? Ooh, no, you don't spray opener rails, but I dealt with the noise coming out of the opener. If it's that old screwdriver type, man, those things are loud. They're really loud. There is a special grease. The problem is, the way I understand it is if you use like automotive grease, the automotive grease gets hard in the wintertime. It gets harder, and so the opener struggles. You know, it'll bog it down. So there is a special genie. I don't even have it. I've been thinking about getting some. I don't know. It always looks similar to what LiftMaster or Chamberlain gives you, that packet. I don't know if it's the same, but it just looks similar. I think even somebody, I thought Rich or something was saying you could use like, is it white lithium or something? I don't know. I just thought I'm going to buy the genie stuff. That way I just have it if I needed it for a certain job or something, you know. Is it Clogger? It says Lowe's is better. Lowe's is better. Thank you in time. Throw Clogger one name, yeah. Do you shop at Lowe's? It just depends. I mean, I shop them all. I mean, it's, you know, I went to, I don't even know what Lowe's carries. I know, I'm pretty sure they don't carry the screwdriver. Only Home Depot does. So Home Depot, you know, in my opinion, Home Depot's always been a little bit more better products, you know, like hot water tanks and just certain things, you know, just my opinion, not on everything I'm gonna say, because I bought an Everbuilt pump. Don't ever buy an Everbuilt, or Everbuilt or whatever it's called, well pump. That was the biggest pile of garbage I ever had. So you just got to do your homework. But you know, whatever works, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was at Menards. I was looking at a Performance Max. I still might have, I was trying to see if I could buy one offline. I didn't see one. I was trying to check the old Amazon-y, and I didn't see, nothing popped up, but my signal was, I wasn't hitting it real hard, you know what I mean? Like maybe tonight in bed or something, I'll search. But I wanted it for the price point, you know what I mean? Because this is not a pricey job. And so I seen the genie. I wanted to check out the LED. It came with 2 remotes, a keypad, and I was like, it's like, you got me there. And then it's a hollow door. And so in my opinion, the hollow doors, and like I said, listen to Papa Tony's opener that other night, it just makes me kind of go, I'm scared to go with an AC unit, you know, rattling. So I just kind of was like, I kind of want a DC, you know, not that I'm a big, you know, I'm a DC advocate, but I was thinking, I want to try something different. Yes, best friend. All right, Smith. I'm driving back to the shop. I'll talk about garage doors. Guy, if I fired back, he says, was this fired back up to keep working? Oh man. Rusty, there you go. Are you the boss? I see need to take a break, Rusty. Hello, everyone. Make hay when the sun shines. That is true. That's true. Hello, hello. Oops. How are you, Tony? I've got 4 weeks lined up. He says I can take any extra moment. Can't take any extra moment off. Pretty good. What's Rusty? This Rich B's guy. Oh, jumped on me. Rich's guy. You should have bought the genie the other day. That was a good price. Oh man, I know. The one on sale. You're right. You're right. I should have. God darn it. Why'd you have to bring that up, Rich? Now I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. I'll be like sitting there punching myself. Hey Rusty's tuning with the Y. And it says, I know it's brother of Dane Hug text gets me. I'm just missing buddy. Evans guy. I don't hate screw drives, Dave. I'm just not driving to border every time to get customer with a dead opener needing to be replaced. Fair enough. I agree. It's like I said, it's whoever, like I said, if you can go to the lumberyard, you can go to the box store, whoever's closest, you can swap that puppy out. That's about the best you can do. That's really all you can do. I mean, I'm still just happy that Home Depot still carries a screw drive for Resi. I know somebody was mentioning, they're like, don't do it because the piece, I never really had that much problem with them. I mean, they're like a 2 horsepower. I like the variable speed. I like the C channel. It fits in tight spots. It just works for me. It's not going to work for you if obviously you got to travel a long ways. That's just not, no. Then you definitely got to do, and like I said, you just have to, when I was doing the, like the Lift Master, right? Like I went to that guy that one time, and two doors are off. And I'm like, what the heck is up with this? And, the guy's like, I'm like, did you shut the power off? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm just like how in the heck did that even happen? And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you can't, like, I mean, like, how do I tell a man that's, whatever, so much age, and then he's been doing it all this other time, and hey man, you can't be shutting the power off to your horse barn. You got to walk your piney out there and shut the lights off instead of hitting the breaker, because these openers, that's the stuff right there. You're gonna finally, like, somebody's gonna be like, like, well, give me a different opener. Like, this is ridiculous. And so I just don't like being in those spots. Genies, as far as I know, like I said, you get the red light to death. That's about all the issue they ever give me. Lightning strike, I think you can maybe omit some of that if you put a surge protector on it. If you don't smash it when you're setting limits. I like they can fit in really tight spots. I like them better because instead of the tube style, I just don't like surprises. I don't like surprises. So I don't like that if I had to put up to the next to the rafter because I'm tight, like the genie one I did. That one was perfect. That was perfect. I had to slam it right up to the rafters. There was conduit and stuff in the way. I did not even have to think about it, because what will happen one day is you will run into, if you ever have the rail buck, it starts flexing, and you're looking at it when you install it, and you go, we're good. We got a 1/2 inch through everything. Well, that thing bucks, and it will catch a rafter, and it'll mess up, and it'll start doing it every time, or it's chiseling out the wood, and that becomes a big pain in the butt with a customer. You're like, son of a, like, what do you do now? What do? You got to mess with the door. You got to do quick turn brackets. Like, there's just so many things. I think it's one of those things you just don't know until you get burned so many times. And it's not every time, but if you do good details and you get good pictures, it can be mitigated. But Jeannie needs to send me a hat. Let's say, Rusty, how's that extra? The new. That's good. Best friend Dave doing good, Mr. Smith. Oh, itchy. Let's see here. I think Orange learn button is from 1996 2005 or 06, somewhere along that time. It's Tony. I cut a whole wall out of her header above door. Plan to build new wall this week. Let's see. Just send me pics. There you go. I'm still here with you guys. What's up, Smith? Every other tore out today was 2001. Interesting. The ones I tore out, the day, same circuit boards. Oh, it's like, were they engineered? Were they engineered to fail? Well, let's see, was it at Craftsman? No, Tony Bowles for Lift Masters. When I tore out yesterday, had a bad belt, so I kept it. Oh, bad belt. Tony airs the garage door. I wish the conversation to belt. Yeah, it would have been quieter. Oh man, I know. I forget to mention the garage was today. The top roller racks were installed upside down. I'd have to see a picture of that, because I mean, you can kind of, it depends. Those adjustable ones, I've seen them done all different ways. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes you're trying to do it to make it go through the radius a different way. So I don't know if there really is an upside down, except for like if it's a LiftMaster, I'm sorry, a Wayne Dalton thermal span, then obviously you can't do it because it's like an L bracket. But what's it say, Rusty? Just for you guys, I greased the belt drive rail I installed today. I was hoping, Rusty, you were going to say I had one squeaking. I went to a customer squeaking, I greased it, and it worked great. You know what I mean? Because I still haven't done that yet. Tony, foot chain, drive, rail. Oh, you belt the rail. Did the rail. Nice. Tony put the chain sprocket back, and it's still noisy. Yes, it was. Indian State Cruisers, Dodge Challengers. Was it Indiana? Is that what you're saying? The Chargers, they're having problems? I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it back. Some nice beard. Oh, thanks. James Halford. All right, here. Tell Raptor something September. Jesus Life's up here for much love, right? Lubricate for the screw drives. Lubriplate for the screw drives? Mr. Guy, get into your Bible, brother. Jesus is at the door. Loves you. Whoa, these things are blowing up. Probably gonna wrap it up about 11 anyways. I gotta strap this puppy down and trucking on down the road. Home Depot in America still has screwdrivers. Still haven't come across a Pro Gene screwdriver, just the belt chains. Yeah, I mean, they're just probably not that common. Like I said, I mean, honestly today, and I have no doubt, I have no doubt with the bean counters that, the screwdriver is going to go away. It's pricey, so it's a price issue. I mean, looking at it even today, when I'm looking at it, I'm a garage door guy, and I'm sitting there going, dang, like $315? I'm like, or I can buy this for $250. And I'm like, and this one gives me a keypad. And I'm like, well, and I didn't need a powerhouse. I'm looking for something quiet. So I thought, well, I want to try, because I know the rails are typically the biggest complaint. I think SOS has talked about it, the piece together rail. And so I thought, you know what, I kind of want to try it. Thought it'd be a good learning to see and just hear the opener and just get kind of an overall, like, is this thing kind of a, is this good, or is this kind of a pile of junk, or what is this? Now, I'm not for sure it's going to go to that job just because of the bean counter, but I might we might assemble it here and have some fun with it, and then it can go out to a job eventually wherever it gets a higher bidder. Whenever it gets a higher bidder. So it says players. Top brackets have no right or wrong way, whatever works. So I was kind of thinking, you know what I mean? Sometimes I've done it with those brackets. Man, those ones I get the ones from Rich B. Those brackets are huge. I put the struts sometimes in them, just depending where I want my pivot. You know how tight things are. They're big brackets. Rich Clopay. Rich on Clopay. It makes a difference. Hidden. Tony's got something. I thought he was racing. He's up there whack-a-mole. Let's see, getting the live stream again. He says, question, what do you look for in a man? I guess you have to be a little more like, what are we talking, like a technician? Talking friend? Hear me out. Oh, grab something. Says something, Justy. State loves a man in a van. That's a good one. I love that. That's a good one, Rusty. That is a good one. The creeper van. I've had some creeper vans. Yeah, I've had a few, you know, but I don't think I like the sliding doors on the vans. That's one thing I'm not a big fan. I like the swivet, the pivot doors. I found out when it's really windy out or you're working like on a keypad for a gate operator or something like that, it's just a nice little shelter, or it's a nice spot to, if you got to go potty, you can just open the doors and you can, you know, do your business. So those work pretty nice, you know. But yeah, I definitely, I like the van, that's for sure. I don't know what this is. It looks like we're starting to get the trolls. What are we at, 11? Wait till about 11. Otherwise, we'll cut it out. Hope you guys have a good Thursday. I think it's supposed to be a little cooler. Today was a little bit cooler than yesterday, so that was nice for everybody. I thought I'd been seeing that they're talking about next week. We're supposed to have like this, I don't know, maybe a 10 or 20 degree cool down type thing. Yeah, I think I got some leaves. I've been seeing some leaves change a little bit. Probably part of the drought too is not helping, but we finally got some rain and things are looking up. I know, Cap, he's been working on a big fence job, but I don't know if that's gonna take place. I sure as hope they don't pull the trigger on it somewhere in October or something, because everything gets crammed in October. I mean, even when I'm not so saturated in the garage doors, I just, business is just busy, man. It's like everybody's just like right now sometimes you'll see like a little bit of a slowdown because everybody's worried about back to school and they're spending the money at back to school and they don't want to think about anything else. So you see like a little lull, and then once the weather starts changing a little bit, it's back to business. It's kind of like, oh, it's like time to get things fixed. And then you know how it is, like when the weather starts changing and we get all the broken springs, and then you just get, then there's all these, like, September is the month I always tell myself that's the month that you start getting everything. You get undercoat, you get, trucks checked out, get their winter preventative, brakes checked, everything, so they don't break down, hopefully catastrophically in the winter time. They get it through the whole winter, all that kind of stuff. Rich says, yeah, he says, here they come. Yeah, I say, well, I got a few more minutes here, a minute, and we'll cut her out, because I know what you mean. Back to dumping. Rich says, you'll be renting a U-Haul again. There you go. Yep. I would do that in a heartbeat. It's just, I don't know why I haven't been doing it lately. I guess it just hasn't been crossing my mind. I think it's been like, I'm always kind of for that challenge. And plus it saves a little bit of money, and it's just convenient, and it's like, they're local and stuff. But sometimes we get those ones a little bit, distance, or the weather's not cooperating. I mean, right now it's like, I've been trying to, like, sabotage or whatever, like jinx the system. Like, I've been leaving certain things outside. You ever like do that? It's like I was listening to a farmer the other day, and he said how he his buddy took the roof off. It's never rained, and it hasn't rained in 2 weeks. And then of course the one day he's got his roof to open up, it rained that night. Like, I've been trying like certain little things. I'm just like, yeah, this power tool can just stay out. Like, it ain't gonna rain tonight. And then a few times it's worked, and I had to spray it down with a little WD because it got a little rust on it or something. But it's been my little trickery, because we definitely been needing. I think we're about 2.5 or 3 inches short on rain for the month, or however they measure it. But it's been dry. It's been dry. And it sucks when you got people that you pay to cut grass and they just do it every week. And like they go around and you're just like, what are they cutting? But all they're doing is making dust. Like, you don't need to cut this week. And you're like, whatever. Just it's part of the system. They're on the weekly plan, so whatever. Just stir the leaves up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that last cold. Oh my gosh, that cold fence job. Yeah, I sent Cap some pictures because I think it was like 900 feet, and he was like, "You really think like 3 weeks?" And I was like, "With two guys," and I said, you know how this goes, and I told him, I'd rather give money back, and it's some capital, it's for their capital expenditure or something, so it's a big corporate type thing, you know. So whatever, man. They could pull the money. Pull the money. We'll return the money if we don't need it. But that job that you brought up, Rich, we lost on that. We were gonna charge more. They couldn't get it from the insurance. We sat on it for so long. Imagine that. Insurance, right? Insurance didn't want to pay. So let's just say wink wink, some of the service calls that keep going on with that certain person, customer, whatever, there's a little add-on to them that's we're gonna get it back, but it sucked that you had to take a lump sum because eventually it sat so long that when you're sitting on whatever, 20,000, it's like, send it, just send it. I mean, we paid for equipment, we paid for truck, we got material, we got late, just whatever. Just it's better than nothing right now because you just might as well. It's been X amount of months, so that's why I just said, you know what, this one, like you're pulling poles out you're right in a groove for dirt, and there's asphalt on the east side. You don't know, dude. I remember this guy at a DPW told me once. There was a pole literally out of the ground. I didn't do it. They pulled it out with their big front end loader, and the guy's like, he's looking at me, and I'm looking at this big chunk. I mean, it's like the size of my truck, for like a 3-inch pole. And I'm looking at it, and he goes, you know why there's so much concrete on there? And I'm like, not really. And he goes, because that's the only auger size they had. And he said, back then, he says, that's all, they just drill a hole. And he goes, they didn't give a shit about it. He says, they just fill that puppy. He says, they didn't pay for the concrete. So they just call a whole freaking truck to come fill the hole. And I'm like, heart's beating. Boom, 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 boom. I'm so glad I told you guys, you got to rip the stuff out. It wasn't me. So this one, we're supposed to. So we're going to need, and then when you put a piece of equipment on there for whatever the piece of equipment was for a couple weeks, I think that's $4,300, and it's like, because it's an older building, everybody and their brothers ran stuff down that dirt area because that's the only spot they could, little communication lines, little power lines. So you're gonna pull things up, or even when you call them as dig, you're gonna pull stuff up, and you're gonna be like, well, fudge. And then, or you're pulling asphalt, and now you got to cut the asphalt, and then what are you doing to fix that? It just turns into, everything could turn into a bigger mess. So I'm like, you know what, pad it. I said, if we, not to exceed. I said, if it comes back, I said, hey, I have no problem. I have no problem giving money back if the job goes smooth. But like, there's going to be there's going to be a dumpster there. There's going to be a concrete dumpster. There's going to be a metal dumpster. There's going to be, there's just a lot of stuff. There's gates, there's gate operators, maybe a turnstile. I can't remember. Fence, 6-foot, barb. That stuff just adds up, man. If you don't want to kill yourself, it's 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, could you knock it out faster? Yeah, if you put in 10, 14, 17-hour days, absolutely. But if you want to live like a human, then no, it's gonna, you can't. Time you start the equipment up, you start getting moving. Luckily it's not far away, but yeah. Ooh. 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 I like that. I see that one. I'll get to that in a second here. Here they come. Man story. To dump in. Let's see. Rich. Tiny hole. Renting Rich. Yeah, I see Evans, guys. I'm surprised Dave doesn't run a U-Haul business on the side. Hey, they work really good. They work really good. I still never thought of a good solution. I see Rusty still here. I think Rusty remembers that guy. I don't remember who else was on, but I feel like I remember Rusty because he said he goes, I understand. But remember the guy that was on here that was hurting, that he was doing lows. And I thought about that. I haven't thought about it really since, but I thought about that night, and I thought, man, I really don't have a good solution for that. Like, how do you, his truck was broke. He's paying for a U-Haul. He's losing his butt on you paying for U-Haul with Lowe's, because Lowe's, there's just not enough profit. And so I'm just like, dang. I'm like, what do you do with that? Like, how do you solve that riddle? Sleep good, my bro. Have some breakfast tomorrow. Sleep good. Oh yeah, some breakfast. Here, nice. Bad time to do that. So cold. It was bad. Too soon. I think he went back to his mom's basement, Rusty. Hot Pockets. I do like some Hot Pockets once in a while. Start looking, man, can't even control you. Oh, nice. Barack Obama, arrest him. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think nobody's going to jail. They never do. Lisa says, yeah, I remember him. He says he was up against a no-win. I know. I felt bad. I was like, what do you do, man? Like, you gotta find more like regular customers. You can't just rely on them, like, especially if you don't have a vehicle. So it's like, what do you do? And I couldn't even think. I was like, they probably won't deliver. I'm surprised if you can't twist their arm a little bit, especially if they're still using AMAR. They might have went to Wayne Dalton. Wayne Dalton probably won't, but AMAR used to drop all the time to residential people. Like, they would come here in a truck and a trailer, right? Just like an enclosed trailer, and they're like, yeah, I gotta go to like some dude for Lowe's, and like some, you could just tell it was like some back road, and it's just like it's almost like you're just like, well, damn, if you guys are just dropping off at residential, like, want to drop my doors off? Like, just drop my doors off. Like, why are you bringing them here? Go drop them off to these customers, and they'll be there for me. He wasn't ready for ownership and should be a employee for now. Yeah, or do this, do them on the side. I mean, you gotta, because what now that you said that, wasn't he gonna, we're talking about maybe like getting like a job during the weekend or something, get a job during the day and do it after. There's so many options. I mean, there really is. You just gotta be a hustler. You know what I mean? You gotta keep working, gotta keep striving, gotta try to make that baby money. Like I said, even if you don't want to drop them, I get it, but you gotta do stuff during the day, whatever it is, All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, and by the way, I did buy some new bits. So maybe if you have problems like I do, the Milwaukee that I have seems to spit the bits, or spin them. They don't spit it, but I decided to go this. I think Cap uses these all the time, and he's used them, right? But they got the little chuck on there. I'm not a big fan about using that with the impacts. They do work, but this is a great idea. You know what I mean? And that way they don't spin in my chuck, because if I use little ones, they don't grab anymore on my Milwaukee, and everything else still works on it, but it doesn't work. So I'm gonna still keep the black ones just for emergency, but I just thought I'd let you guys know that if some of you newbies, maybe you want to get the square ones, because then you can use them in your impact, and they'll actually fit better, I think, in your drill. And I don't see no drawback really, except for with the littler case. I still like the screw case, but these will work. So you know what I mean? Does the job and keeps it from spinning out on me. Rich says he's got those work good. Yeah. I know, like Cap and stuff, a lot of the guys, they'll use them in their impacts. I mean, I'm not saying I won't, but I'm sick of I'm like constantly always torquing and then I had to use a little one the other day, and it wouldn't even grab it because I've spun it so many times. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And I bought some of these for my stepdad, I believe, and I thought, I'm going to get me some. I got to try them out, because I'm just getting so sick of constantly always drilling, and it gets stuck, and I got to back it out, retighten, drill it again, and then I got to spin it really fast. I'm just like, I'm so over this. I'm like, so we'll try them out, see how they work, but man, They like their money, that's for sure. I think these were in the $30 versus the other bigger set was like 40 something. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of, that's the common size I use. So we're just going to go that route. So there you go. Now you know. All right, guys, keep your fingers. Have a great Thursday. Stay cool out there. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here. If you got anything back, I think I turned it off by accident for a second. But anyways, email me, text me, all that good stuff. I love them all. We'll see you guys later. Have a good night.